All right, chat, welcome in. I just hit the live stream and we got something going on in the background. What did I hit? Is it the ESPN? Yeah, here we go, chat. It's the ad. There we go. Okay, we're cooking. The Eastern Conference Finals Game 2 is underway. Pacers versus Knicks is in the background, and the Knicks get the first bucket. Chat, it's going to be a big game. I mean, we knew that, of course, what was on the line for Timberwolves versus OKC. Chat, testing 1, 2, 3. Are we live? Are we live? Okay, there we go, chat. Jeez. Technical difficulties firing up right away, but we are good to go, and we are cooking. We'll see. Do the Pacers have technical difficulties, chat? They've had some technical difficulties to start these games, but they've been able to fix it. They've had the fourth quarter comebacks. They've been able to get the games figured out. Obviously, same recipe game 1 and got the win there. And what I was gonna say, chat, is with that game 2, OKC versus Timberwolves. I mean, again, we knew it was like, oh, is this the Anthony Edwards game? Is this the game where the Timberwolves even up the series? Is this the one where the Thunder kind of prove that they are that top-tier team, not just the West, maybe the NBA? This one, I mean, definitely has some mystery, chat. This one definitely has some mystery. We don't really know. Maybe we do know. The recipe's been laid out there. The Pacers are going to make a 20-point rally at some point in the second half here. Brunson maybe carries in the first half, and then Halliburton in the second half, chat, and they just trade off. And Madison Square Garden is heartbroken once again. Who knows? But it does seem like, okay, is Indiana going to really be... Because again, you would look at on paper and go, OKC is this historic team. They are pushing 70 wins. They have all the stats and all of the numbers throughout the course of the season to back up the performance that they're having in the season. Not that the Pacers are having this mystery performance, of course, chat. But to see them up 2-0 at the same time of OKC being up 2-0 as well, too, like we're saying, just that visual on paper, it's like, are these two teams even? Are they the same? The competition is, I think, pretty even all the way around as well, too, Chad. I think maybe that's why OKC continues to stand out. It's like, okay, this is maybe the one team that's in kind of a tier of its own. But Siakam with the little spinning shot, chat. What is Siakam's total for this playoffs, chat? And we got to remember as well, too, I guess tonight is Friday night. It's the 20th anniversary, chat. 20, am I getting that right? 2005 to 2025? Yes, sure. 20th anniversary of Common's B album, chat. Released May 20 years ago, 2005, this week. So we will go back and, of course, celebrate all-time project, chat. But it's playoff time as well, too. So we've got to make sure that we're locked in on this Pacers-Knicks game, like we said. And to check out Siakam's numbers for this playoff run for this season, he did get to the 28-game mark this season. Obviously not necessarily surprising. And with the trades here, how many seasons in a row is that for 20 in a row? Wait a second. We got backwards there, chat. We got 6 seasons here, chat, of 20 points a game in a row. So nearly a half decade of getting to that level of scoring. The highest in there is that 24 a game season. So hasn't quite leveled up the next overall step, but has been over 50% basically, both of the Indiana years as well too. Indiana was there half of the year last year. It was 50% in Toronto as well too. So we got to give him the credit. As he enters his 30s, chat, he is starting to become a more efficient player. He was 38% from 3 this year. For the playoffs, he is 53 and 41, chat. 18 a game. So yeah, 14 shots a game. A little bit of a scale back, but that's, some guys, of course, from the playoffs, but the efficiency is just up in general. So maybe a little bit more pick his spots in some of these. Neesmith's been hitting 6 3-pointers in these quarters, chat, so they don't necessarily need Siakam to have all of the shots throughout the course of the game. But that kind of efficiency is crazy, because again, you look at what they did when they won the title, chat, that year in Toronto. 47% from the field, 27% from 3, 19 a game as well too. There was still a level up that he could definitely go, and obviously that was, we look back on that team as Kawhi just carrying that group of guys all the way to the finals, and then the Warriors, of course, getting hurt as well too. But again, with what Siakam's become, like Siakam's made an All-NBA, he's made a couple of All-Stars, and the fact that he has an NBA title in his resume And he scored basically 20 points a game in the entire playoffs on that title team. And again, the final series itself. Let's see, chat. The final series itself, he was 19.8 points a game and 50% from the field. So, you know, again, the three-point shooting, not totally the thing in the 2018-19 season for our guy Siakam. And as well, too, like I said, just not as responsible for as much of the offense. But to be honest, those are way better numbers than I remember, Chad. Oh, excuse me. In the Eastern Conference Finals against Milwaukee, he was 40% from the field, only 14 points a game. So I don't know. Am I getting those series mixed up in some way? Because that Milwaukee series, of course, Milwaukee did win those first two games, and then Kawhi stormed back. Chad, that is really, that's maybe the lost series in the Giannis run. I know there's always, I mean, in this Giannis run specifically, there is excuses to be made, Chad, for why Milwaukee has kind of lost in the finals and been, or lost in the playoffs and been eliminated early every year. It seems like there's reasonable things to point to. We obviously still value Giannis as a playoff guy. Nesmith keeps making shots, Chad. He's out here firing still. Did he start the game? 7 minutes left in the first, 14-6. They might have just subbed him in. Yeah, wait. Nembhard in the game as well too. Chad, wait, what was the starting lineup? Let's check. Am I crazy? Nesmith on the floor. Yeah, we know, Chad. But did he actually start? Is he just an automatic starter for him? Let me see. I guess they don't really have much of a bench, Chad. Yeah. So Obi Toppin, Thomas Bryant, Mathurin, McConnell. Nah, what am I saying? The bench is good. But yeah, I guess Nesmith is a starter, of course. So yeah, this is the one that kind of is like, I don't know, do we have to go back and check this one out, Chad? Go back and watch the tape. Like, what happened in this series? Because this was the first Giannis MVP year. Second in Defensive Player of the Year voting as well, too. 20s. Just almost seemed like, kind of weak numbers compared to what we've seen Giannis put up now, Chad. Only 27 a game. 27, 12, almost 6 assists a game as well, too. Steal and a half, block and a half. Middleton in that near 20-point-a-game range as well. But for that playoff series, Chad. Oh wait, are we looking at the Bucks? This is the Bucks team, yeah. We need to go to Giannis' player page and see how he performed in that series. Did Giannis get? Is that another Giannis got hurt series? But they won the first two games. They were up 2-0, and then lost the next 4, if I remember correctly. Toronto, or maybe Toronto won 3 of the next 4, or something. Or I guess they ended up winning, whatever. But I guess if they went up 2-0, no, they did win 3 of the next 4. But if I remember correctly, that's what happened here. I guess we can just fact check and see. Yeah, Milwaukee up 2-0, and then Toronto. See, you just don't want to go back and admit that Kawhi got 4 in a row on Giannis, Jeff, but it happened. It happened. And in Game 6, 27 and 17 for Kawhi. 17 rebounds, a 6-point game. Maybe we need to put this game on the watch list, Chad. This could be a sneaky one. A 94-100, Game 6, Eastern Conference. I guess Eastern Conference Finals is pretty high stakes, for sure. I guess I was going to say it's like the finals of the Eastern Conference, but that's literally the title of the division, Chad, or of the round. So, yeah, it is those two best teams, ideally, in the conference, facing off each other. Does this unlock a whole world, Chad? I was thinking about, like, all the finals games we might have to add to the watch list and go back and, like, this summer, catch up on some of these legendary games. But maybe we add in some conference finals games into the matchup, Chad. I guess the legendary 2009, all the way back to 2019, the historical 2019 Eastern Conference. I guess it was historical. It still is modern era. It's not really like we're going back into NBA history and then the DeLorean stops in 2019. Wait a second. We just saw this. This is, I guess it's all going to be on YouTube. But still. And I was scrolling in the League Pass app on the TV version app, and I guess it's all the same, but just to see how far back they had the games logged on the League Pass, and the calendar lets you go. At one point it was like, okay, well obviously it's not right because the calendar just lets you keep going. I think we could have gone all the way back to like the 13, find the NBA games in 1387, but we got back. It was like, okay, this is gonna let us go into the 1920s. Like, maybe basketball was. I guess basketball was around in the 1920s, but I think the basketball reference page itself logs until like the 40s. You know, that's when like the Basketball Association of America, and then it forms maybe into one more thing before it finally becomes the NBA. Why does DiVincenzo's inactive, Chad? This is kind of a stacked inactive group here. I was like, wait a second. I mean, both teams. I guess Anunoby might have been hurt, but Bonzi Colson. You guys remember Bonzi Colson? Notre Dame. He was pretty good at Notre Dame. Pau Gasol, Chris Boucher, Chad. But yeah, Kawhi 27 and 17. Siakam in this game at 18 and 4. Giannis, Chad, 21 and 11, 3 blocks. 7 of 18 from the field is not ideal. Middleton as well too. 5 for 13, both 38%. It is not great, but they didn't have Drew Holiday yet at this point either. So again, first sort of Giannis MVP season. The team not fully formed, and I guess what was their seeding as well too, Chad? Oh, they got 60 games that year. Jesus. So that was their best regular season. Was that 2018-19 regular season? And they lost to Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yikes, Chad. They did get 56 the next year, and then 46 the year they won the title. I guess that was probably the shortened season though after the COVID season, but or I guess still the COVID season with the way the fans were set up. But literally the fans were set up as cardboard cutouts. But their win percentage anyways, 63%, still dipped down, so they wouldn't have been as good either way win percentage wise. The year that they won the finals. Still though, of course, 50-win team. Even this year, chat, 48 and 34. I mean, still kind of proves the Giannis MVP case in a way. Look at the cast of characters last year for coaches, chat. You forget about Joe Prunty for 3 games. Adrian Griffin, 30 and 13. 2 and 1, and then Doc Rivers, 17 and 19. Doc Rivers, 40 and 34 this year. Still around, chat. Still around. So I assume they're going to run it into the season with Doc Rivers as the head coach. Still, I mean, Doc Rivers, who are the, what's the list, Chad, of the watch list guys, for the head coach jobs, I guess. But, yeah, that was a team that could have definitely preemptively panicked as well, too, Chad. I mean, as much as, and not even with just the Giannis piece, but with the pieces around him as well, too, like trying to keep Giannis or make drastic moves, maybe thinking that Giannis is going to request a trade in a way. But no, they're just like, we don't move, Chad. It's like the superstitious fan just on the couch. The Bucks are just like, we can't move. Giannis is happy just at Doc Rivers. We get it's not ideal, but Giannis is still not requested a trade, just in case. Because again, that is the Adrian Griffin piece of it, right? And I guess we don't know if Giannis went to the front office and was like, hey, this Adrian Griffin guy is great, but guess what? I just really think Doc Rivers is the coach I want to play for. All my time, as a kid growing up in Greece, just watching the NBA, because you think Chetty's watching maybe those Celtics teams as a teenager. I guess, I don't know what the setup is, but, he's just hearing about the NBA overseas, and he's like, Doc Rivers? I want to play for Doc Rivers. So we don't know what the conversations were with the front office between Giannis and those guys, chat. But, I mean, again, Adrian Griffin was 30 and 13, and it was a little bit of obviously a messy 30 and 13, but there was still pieces that it was like, okay, this is his first head coaching job, this is the first season of it, maybe it just needs time to adjust, and the adjustment time was 30 and 13 as well, too. So it's like, okay, when this actually gets to cooking, what does this look like? And, I'd have to go back and really check the tapes as well, too. I don't think we're going to add any of those games to the watch list on the pod, but maybe I'll go skim through some YouTube highlights from those Adrian Griffin's Bucks days, which I guess he hasn't gotten another job as well, too. I get, maybe a couple of years before he's back in the cycle, chat. But is that it? Is that the Adrian Griffin run? 30 and 13? I mean, it's an interesting win percent. I don't know how much you have to. I guess he's not going to qualify for all time. You probably have to start hitting at least 100+ games coached or something like that. That would still only be like maybe a season and a half. Maybe like 200 games coached. It's like, okay, we can barely consider it. But his all-time win percentage is pretty good. His LinkedIn resume, he's like, I got 80% win percentage as a head coach in the NBA. in 43 games or whatever. But Prunty, maybe Prunty's got a pretty good win percentage as well too. I guess he had some other years where did he coach the Bucks before? I think he did. Maybe Prunty is the guy that we were thinking about, Chad. That oh no, Prunty was an intern. Because we were thinking, has there ever been a coach that got hired as the head coach, and then when they went to fire him was like, don't fire me, like I'll be the assistant, you know, for the next guy, and then just gets demoted. Like maybe Prunty was that guy. But Prunty was again the assistant that took over for Jason Kidd, so not like he got the full job and was there multiple years. Maybe it was Atlanta that he was there multiple years, or he was just with a lot of teams bouncing around as an interim. Chat. That's exactly what it was. He was bouncing around as an interim. Assistant in Phoenix, Atlanta, Milwaukee. I guess yeah, Milwaukee before as well too. Cleveland, Port, Dallas, San Antonio. Video coordinator, advanced scout in San Antonio. Joe Prunty. Chat. I mean, everybody in the league is just, whether you like it or not, they just started in San Antonio. I think, did Sam Presti start in San Antonio, chat? Am I just claiming guys now in the league? But he may have. Okay, yeah, maybe he didn't, chat. But, dag, no, somebody at OKC. Shea? I don't know. Wait for, who can we give credit for San Antonio? We gotta find somebody, chat. Somebody in this organization with some power has been in the Spurs organization and definitely learned from the best. Learned from Pop, learned from R.C. Buford. Yeah, assistant general manager for the Spurs for 7 years, chat. 2000 to 2007. So I know Thunder fans are going to be like, well, is Sam Presti responsible for the Spurs run? Well, guess, you know who else built a pretty good team when Sam Presti left, chat? The Spurs. The Spurs. And he did get there as well, too. In 2000, when we already had Duncan and Robinson and a title under the belt. After graduating from Evanston College, Presti was working at a basketball camp after being offered an internship. And I guess he would have probably ascended to the level of assistant general manager. Maybe not in 2000, he was assistant general manager as well, too. Buford was refereeing games as Presti delivered a sales pitch while running along the court with Buford. Starting off as video coordinator, Presti rose in front office ranks, assistant director in scouting in 2002. And later moved to the director of player personnel in 2003. So and then assistant general manager in 2005. So, well, wait, what else does it say about him here? Because after 2005, I guess we did win that ring in 2007. But once he took over, we stopped winning rings. What happened? And then once he left, we started. But I guess he left in 2007. So once he left, we stopped winning rings for a second there. But let's see here. Presti rose to the front office ranks, becoming the assistant director in scouting in 2002. Later moved to the director of player personnel in 2003. Was finally elevated to 2005 by the president. Prior to the 2001 draft, Presti was instrumental for encouraging the Spurs to draft Tony Parker. Oh, chat! Turns out Sam Presti also built the Spurs organization. What do you know? What do you know? Shout out. Sam Presti would show up to Buford's home with footage of Parker during his tenure with Paris Basket Racing. Parker went on to play 18 seasons. Yeah, Parker, a legend, chat. Of course. In 2007, the Sonics named Presti their newest general manager, and then yeah, he's been with the Sonics ever since. Of course, drafted Durant, Westbrook, James Harden, chat. So Parker is a good one as well too, because Parker was a later pick. So I mean, you know. The Durant Westbrook things are always like they're great picks. The Westbrook one I think is a little bit of, you know, it obviously gets looked back on so fondly, but I think it was a little Jalen Brownie in the moment where it's like, okay, you know, is this guy, you know, where was this guy in the mocks? Like, what's happening? Sam Presti, he's not following Chad Ford or whatever, but you know, Harden as well too, 4th pick, Durant like the 2nd overall pick in the draft. Shout out Sam Presti. But, you know, if he was number 1, I guess there would have been a decision there between him and Odin, and Sam Presti might have taken Durant either way. Presti immediately, 13 games into the season, PJ Carlissimo, he said, you're out of here. Maybe, is that how long it took him to get confident enough to work up the confidence to be like, okay, it's my first GM job. Can I fire PJ Carlissimo right away? Can I Do I have to wait a couple of games? Do I have to prove that it's just not going? And then it's like 1-12. It's like, oh, thank goodness. He might not even want to be coaching this team anymore at that point. Under Brooks, they didn't finish with a much better record, but Westbrook, of course, the team got set in a different direction. And, Scotty Brooks was an interesting one, chat, because, again, they won so many regular season games that, and maybe Scotty Brooks is just that 10 years ago version of, like, what we're seeing, of course, now with, like, the Mike Budenholzer, Frank Vogel. But, again, Scotty Brooks never won a title, so maybe he's even more of, like, I guess Nick Nurse won the title as well, too, Chad. Who's, like, a good, maybe, like, Jamal Mosley, or, who's the Pelicans coach there for a second? Willie Green? Is Willie Green still the Pelicans coach, Chad? Uh-oh. Willie Green, check. I feel like the Pelicans would be a team that might make a move, maybe now, maybe they did already. Uh-oh. I guess the coaches aren't usually active, like bolted out as active. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily say fired or anything. Is there like a transaction? No. So I guess we just have to do the Google search. 21-61 though is, you gotta cross your fingers a little bit there. The family is nervous, Chad. It is what it is. But Scotty Brooks, it did feel like, I don't know what their other options would have been. And I guess, when did they bring in Billy Donovan? When did they bring that guy in? So the Pacers have actually given up a little bit of a lead here. It was 19-9, if I remember correctly. While we were rambling about Sam Presti here, and then the Knicks stormed back a little bit, 19-19, I guess. But ESPN, of course, the box score feed is a little bit ahead of the actual Sling TV feed, so I guess the Pacers have hit another three here. Chad Neesmith again, maybe. Where's the play-by-play? Say, am I thinking? What's the game cast? What's the broadcast? Yeah, here we go, Chad. Siakam making free throws. Oh, fouled on three. Oh, there he is, Chad. Yeah, right at the free throw line. Okay. Well, which one should we watch? I guess. But what else? I guess that would have been his pre-run up until the GM job. So that's pretty good. I mean, if the word gets out that you're responsible for drafting Tony Parker, it is true. Like, that one move alone, you're probably gonna get a GM job. At some point, you're like, well, no, that's a pretty good pick. But yeah, I guess ever since then, he's just been in OKC, running the team, turning this team into, the championship level team it is now. Played for Emerson and Virginia, messing around. Degree in communication, politics, and law, Chat. Studied politics and law. Sam Presti for president, Chat. President Presti. I don't know if we, Presti starts talking about some healthcare stuff, and it's like, oh, it's Presti, get back to the picks, But maybe at this point, who's to say? At this point, it's not even. It used to be like a bit that you would do. It's like, what, who were the celebrities? Who were the fun people that we want to be president? Now it's like, now we're just actually scouting, Now we're Sam Presti. Like, okay, I guess America's not full of Sam Prestis necessarily from a voting standpoint, Chad. But, if we're potentially, how old is Presti? Is he, okay, yeah, 47. He definitely crosses the line. Because, of course, when the Chicago Cubs won their World Series back in, 2016, there was conversation at that point, because Epstein, of course, had Theo Epstein had turned around the Boston Red Sox and built that team and won the title and broken their franchise curse. And then he built up the Chicago Cubs and broke their franchise curse. And it was like, well, do we need to give Theo Epstein a little bit more responsibility? But I don't remember, did Theo Epstein accomplish all that? It's like, wait a second, this guy's still like 32. So I don't know what his presidential eligibility was back in the day. But again, I guess that would have been right as we were starting to shift, where it's like, okay, I guess if Theo Epstein wins the Cubs World Series now, it might not even be a joke. I mean, it might literally be like, if Sam Presti wins the finals this year, I mean, the trophy presentation just might turn into the DNC chat. Who knows? I guess, again, do we need to give Sam Presti the interview? But yeah, I guess, I don't know I don't know if we can actually trade first-round picks either if he gets into the present. He's like, wait, how many first-round picks does Canada have? But, because I guess he would be good Canada relations as well. Too, chat with Shay. Get Sam Presti in the mix. Who knows? But, yeah, politics and law. Interesting, chat, for our guy Sam Presti. But, yeah, also a San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, again, the Spurs have built up the league in general. They're always responsible in some way for the teams winning the titles. It's just what it is. The pop basketball tree in the NBA is just, it's not overgrown, chat, because that's like, inconvenient a little bit, it implies, but it's overgrown, I guess. Every team is influenced. There's roots planted everywhere throughout the league, chat. It's just what it is. San Antonio, the influence cannot be denied. And now our picks are going to be on the Milwaukee Bucks when we get Giannis, chat. So they're going to be pretty influenced by the Spurs. They're going to be influenced by the Spurs when they're drafting when Dylan Harper's wearing the Spurs hat, and they're like, okay, Dylan, I know you got the Spurs hat on, but you're going to Milwaukee. Have you idolized Dame Lillard? It's like, oh, yeah, I love Dame Lillard. But I guess he's not really going to be playing with Dame Lillard, unfortunately, this next year, because R.I.P. Dame Lillard is, he's hurt this year, I think. But do the Knicks get the lead here? Brunson for 3, chat? Oh, no, Brunson misses the 3. Mitchell Robinson's just flying around right now, though. Can't be stopped. I think Miles Turner went back to the locker room, chat, so I don't know if he got... The Pacers can be a little energetic at times. I don't know if the man got tossed. Do we go a quick play-by-play? But it wasn't a high five. He wasn't like flipping off the crowd as he walked out, so I don't think... Oh, wait. Is he back? Is he in the game right now? Okay, he's not in the game right now, but I guess he is back, chat. So we're not ranting about Sam Presti anymore. Eyes on the TV. We're good to go. Brunson here as the first quarter is winding down. Gets to the rim, chat. The floater, it's Robinson again! Robinson can't be stopped, and yeah, I guess they are, again, without Miles Turner, they are just a smaller team right now. No real center on the lineup. McConnell! The back rim for the three-pointer, half-court three-point attempt to end the quarter. Not quite able to get it to go, though. But, yeah, you got Siakam almost as your 5. Did they have Thomas Bryant on the court? Can we get it on the court, chat? I don't know if Thomas Bryant necessarily helps the case for, like, Mitchell Robinson's not going to get rebounds. But at least you have a little bit of size or something you could throw out there. Yeah, no Thomas Bryant, no Miles Turner. So, yeah, Siakam, Neesmith, Toppin would be your 4, essentially, in that lineup. And then your backcourt's just smaller as well, too, with McConnell in the game instead of Halliburton. At least Halliburton gives you a little bit of pause, a little bit of length. But especially, again, with the smaller 5 and the smaller point guard, chat, definitely going to be a lineup that's a little more susceptible as well, too. Is Presta Chua healthy? Or is it just, Tibbs? Because this might be a series where he could get some minutes. I mean, Mitchell and McBride, this could really just be, of course, the Knicks. Are like, this is our team, this is our guys, this is the rotation we have, and it is what it is. But you think he can fly around a little bit, especially, again, in a game like this, where maybe they're not going to go to the centers. I think maybe a Chua sometimes can get into wanting to stretch the floor a little bit, too, which is, I don't know if you have to play some mind games to get him to rebound, but he can be aggressive, he can attack, so I don't mind. And DeLon Wright's just out of the rotation as well, too, I guess, chat. I don't think the three-point shooting has been fantastic this year. Let's double check here real quick. I don't know if he's been necessarily a sniper, but yeah, 27% from 3, because yeah, he was 36. He's in the high 30s the last couple of years. So, and one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. So it's like, okay, if he's gonna at least be an above average three-point shooter and the defense is this good, there is value to him there. But yeah, I guess the last couple of seasons, just wait a second, that's sorted by three-point percentage. Let's go. I guess we went just the seasons here in the opposite order. So yeah, 36, and then this season just dropping down to the 27%. is not great. And you see his free throw percentage as well too has always been. I mean, not that he was taking a ton, but at least he was making his attempts. So dropping to 60% this year is maybe, I don't know if he's protesting his no minutes, chat. Yeah, 24% from three, I guess, on the Bucks. So really not great there, but 33% on the Knicks themselves in only 15 games, 14 games played in the regular season. Is not necessarily gonna win you the confidence of the coaches in any way. Only 4 minutes played in the playoffs in general. I was like, yeah, forgot that DeLon Wright was even on this team chat, but I'm pro DeLon Wright. So if we were an executive in this Knicks organization, Tibbs would be like another producer phoning my house, giving me notes, telling me how to run the team. It's like he's never been a coach. He doesn't know about lineups. He doesn't know what it takes. It's like, yeah, but I sit here and I watch DeLon Wright on YouTube sometimes, and I like the highlights. So let's get him in the game. Let's see what's going on. And then, this is why teams implode, chat. Because of this. Like, is Sam Presti interfering in that type of way? And I don't think a lot of GMs necessarily are, chat. But I do think you can kind of see that happen a little bit, where there's certain power dynamics and certain battles that can be happening, directly in the rotations, directly in some of the player stuff. And I was thinking, like, maybe the Warriors would be an example of that, but I don't know if Dunleavy is necessarily like, we have to play Kuminga necessarily. I think, of course, the consensus is that if they want to make sure that they're having their young prospects setting themselves up for the future in that way, and maximizing the player development part of the team, then getting him valuable minutes would be an important thing. I mean, again, they're out of the playoff now, so that's not happening anymore. But I'd have to go do the reading and stuff and see what the conflict is in the front office between Steve Kerr. But I think Dunleavy's kind of like a respect maybe Steve Kerr, let him do his thing a little bit. But I don't know if you necessarily get Sam Presti involved with some of the rotational stuff and with some of the outside things, and necessarily it does seem like he's really just focused on scouting and trades and stuff like that. And I guess not even necessarily trades. Like, he'll make a good trade when he has to, like the Caruso for Giddey thing, but I guess he's never really overcomplicating it. Obviously the Shea Paul George deal was a massive trade with what they got, and maybe there had to have been multiple teams involved in that. A trade, once you start getting salaries like that, even old CBA, there are still certain mechanics that you have to work around a little bit with trading some bigger numbers sometimes. So OKC's always, with the younger guys, managed to have some cap space. I guess they were trading him to the Clippers, so that would have been the more difficult part, not necessarily getting him on OKC. But the trade for him going to OKC was that, I was going to say, Victor Oladipo trade. And Sabonis as well, too, which, to be honest, in 2025, just Sabonis for Paul George is kind of an interesting trade. But, again, it's enough of a time away from that that's not necessarily a fair way to look back at the trade. We've had 7, 8 full seasons or something like that since then. So, careers, multiple contracts being signed by Paul George since that trade. It's not like that trade didn't work out for these teams. But it is a fun trade. Again, Sabonis has become an all-NBA level guy, and Oladipo was at least, not a flash in the pan necessarily there. Of course, he got hurt, but did have a really spectacular season there in Indiana carrying that team. So I honestly still feel like if you peak Sabonis and peak Oladipo versus peak Paul George is, I still think, a pretty good trade, because I guess Oladipo does maybe provide the extra boost of because I think Sabonis and Paul George was able to give you defensively at the height of his powers, even if Sabonis is a great offensive player as well. I think that two-way aspect would make it a more beneficial trade for the Paul George getter in that trade, in that side of the trade. But Oladipo gives you a little bit of that two-way stuff as well. And of course he was kind of a sneaky number one guy there in Indiana. But did he get hurt in the playoffs in that season? Or did they get bounced early? What happened? I think he might have got hurt in the playoffs that year. as well too, because I don't really necessarily remember like, oh, Victor Oladipo, the disappointment of the end of the playoff run. You know, like in a in-game scenario type way outside of the injury. So 7 and 17, 18. Let's see. Maybe it did just wind down. I'm again just not remembering. Very possible, Chad. But so yeah, 17, 18 would have been that year. Third team All NBA, most improved player, and he was first team All Defense that year. So yeah, you do have the full two-way thing being sort of in play. 23 points a game, but again, still pretty efficient. Like 47%, 30%, 37% is really, really good. And with as high level of, again, the high level defense that he's giving you, it's going to balance out some of the overall, you know, advanced metrics, player impact type stuff that might happen from just that little, like, you know, he's not a 50, 40, 90 guy. But in 7 games in the playoffs that year, he was 41% from the field, 40% from 3, 22 a game. Still 2. Oh, wait a second. Is this the LeBron off of like the? Is this that's that crazy LeBron run where they face the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals? Let's see if we actually can get some history right here for this, chat. Yeah, so yeah, they lost in 7 to Cleveland. So the history that I'm going to get wrong is what the game winners were necessarily in that, because he also had another game winner against the Raptors that year as well too, but I don't know if it was a series winner, because I think the winner versus the Pacers, it was, I guess it was 4-0, so it could still have been a series winner, but the series wasn't necessarily tied. And maybe that was a game 6 buzzer beater versus the Pacers as well. No, I'm just trying to remember what game it happened. Let's see. Oh, so it was game 3, second. Okay, so it was second to last game, maybe for it was either game 3 or game 1. Let's see. Maybe it was game 1. Just like, oh, you know, is this the one? Can the Raptors steal one here, make the game interesting? Oh, the game went to overtime in game 1. Did LeBron make a last-second shot in this game? Potentially, Chad. I mean, he probably made one anyways, just based on what this Cavs team was. So yeah, okay, it wouldn't have been this one. LeBron made a 2-pointer with 30 seconds left. 11-footer. Off the defensive rebound by Kevin Love, the missed shot by Kyle Lowry. So again, another late game bucket that tied it up, sent it to overtime. Cavs end up taking it in overtime. Barely. A couple of Kyle Lowry shots, not able to quite close there. A missed Van Fleet 3 with 3 seconds left. Raptors could have stolen that one, maybe. I don't know how guarded he was. Doesn't say on the play-by-play, I guess. But game 3 would have been the other close game here, chat. 105 to 103. So that game tied. LeBron game winner, up 2-0. What were the stakes really on this one, chat? But again, you know, the last game series winner would have been a tough one. So yeah, this one at the buzzer, the 2-foot 9, the 2-pointer 9-foot shot. I think this was the running baseline floater kind of behind, like he's like moving behind the basket by the time he gets the shot off, I think, a little bit. But the Indiana one was there like a turnaround then, maybe, or something? Let's go back to that series and double check here real quick and see. A lot of course, Cavs, LeBron playoff games to sort through, but this will get us back to Oladipo anyways. 105 to 101. Okay, maybe it wasn't a series winner. Was it also game 3 as well too? Game 1, Indiana won very decisively. Oladipo 32 points. LeBron just 46, 32, 44, 45. Oh, maybe it was game 5. So game 5 it would have been 2-2, maybe 3-0. Oh. Chat. A little bit down in the series, chance to go up here, and then let's see. Indiana wins the quarter overall, but LeBron. Yeah, this is the other LeBron buzzer beater. So 3-point 24-footer. Was this in the corner? Maybe we could go back and look at the highlights, but we all know that can get sketchy on the lives. So yeah. Again, Presti has just kind of focused on the team building stuff of it, and not necessarily getting interfered with all the extra stuff. And Dagnaw, of course, just does a great job, so you don't no need to interfere as well. But we should mention, of course, a little WNBA on the second TV chat. Sun versus the Link, and the Suns with the 8-point lead. Wait, make that 6, chat. Maybe make that 5, because Collier just got an and 1, and she's got a free throw attempt here to make it 5, with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The 0-1 Sun, chat. Wait, it says the Sun are 0-1, but the Link are 3-0. WNBA scheduling. I mean, NBA, of course, is still figuring out their scheduling. So WNBA, there is some stuff like that where you're like, wait, this team is playing like way more than some of the other teams. I forget last year, going into the All-Star break, I think the Aces played like 3 or 4 less games than some of the teams. It was like, oh, yeah, easy schedule here. I mean, a couple more difficult, obviously. At the end of the day, it's all the same. But still a little bit of a interesting order. They're like, we just gotta front load it with all the great teams to start, get everybody interested. So shout out to the Sun for being feisty, hanging around chat while people are doubting them. They thought they could just throw them on Ion chat on a random night and not necessarily be prime time. But I guess they're the one game, because I would say maybe there's multiple games to choose from, but I think that's in the next time slot. So I think we'll just have to see for the 9 o'clock game what game ends up popping on in the background there for a little bit. But 33-33. And speaking of Siakam having a game, chat, 21 points. This is for the half, him dominating the half this way. Halliburton, I mean, 0 for 3. Honestly, I get they did steal one in Madison Square Garden, so there's a little bit of and Siakam's just balling out right now. So there's a little bit of there's a little bit of a leash that they can have right now with Halliburton's performance. Like, he's kind of earned himself some missed shots here in a way. But I also am just kind of confident that he can very easily, of course, just turn this around in the second half, because again, that's just what the Pacers have done. But also kind of Halliburton specifically as well too has just played better in second halves, it seems like, in the playoffs so far. So if you get a Siakam half like this, it's crazy. And that game 1 in Madison Square Garden, the Nesmith game, game 2, the Siakam game, I mean, it's perfect for the documentary, Chad. I mean, these are the types of players that just break the heart of Knicks fans every year in the playoffs. I mean, I guess not every year, but when the Knicks are in these good cycles, and they're in the playoffs, and they're playing the Pacers eventually, I mean, we've seen this storyline before, Chad. The Knicks fans should not be surprised. And I know we said a couple of live streams ago that, did we kind of think that Brunson and Towns and some of these, Bridges, Josh Hart, like, it is a fun collection of guys and a fun team to root for. Just the individual. The problem is, again, they're kind of in the Knicks jersey, so sometimes it is a little like, what's going on here? But then again, the Knicks haven't been, the most dominant franchise. There's not like a terrifying powerhouse sort of, New England Patriots sort of thing going on with the Knicks, where you're like, gross. We don't like seeing the Knicks around anymore. Like, even, of course, still watching the Patriots lose games. It's like, how many years do we watch the Patriots win games? It's like, we need at least that as started Patriots fans. But, and I get the, for young fans like myself, when we just got to be watching the NFL when the Patriots were good, the Patriots fans are like, okay, we already suffered through the bad years and we got the good years to bounce out for that. But again, there's some of us on the other side of it that have only seen the good years, so we need the bad years from the Patriots to balance out all of those good years. The Cowboys, they just only get bad years. So I think that's the deal, Chad, that was made. But I don't know if it's the Knicks. It is the Knicks players a little bit as well, too. But, with Halliburton and Shea and Edwards, like, all these guys winning a title, there's no bad answer. These are all fun options to... At the end of the day, as long as it's not Wembanyama, it's fine. There were anybody else who wins it. Who cares, Chad? But I think maybe the Knicks, some of the Knicks celebrity fans, it's really just Spike Lee, Chad. I think at this point, what I kind of finally realized was, I don't necessarily want to see the players win a title as much as I want to see Spike Lee win a title. So Spike Lee happens to be a Knicks fan. Again, that team is probably a team with a lot of the guys that we would be cheering for anyway, so it makes it a little bit easier. If Spike Lee was just a devout Oklahoma City Thunder fan, which would be, it's like, okay, was Spike Lee a Seattle fan and then moved with the team? Or was he just like, oh man, we've, campaigning for Oklahoma City sports all these years, and they were like, Spike, he's the reason that their basketball's in Oklahoma City. But, maybe if he was a Western Conference team directly competing against the Spurs, it'd be a little bit different. But it does line up nicely that I think Spike is fine. And the rest of I guess Busta Rhymes as well too, Chat. The rest of the Knicks fans, I mean, for sure, I guess. The celebrities, it's fine. We know them. I mean, it's cool. I'm not saying that. I guess Tracy Morgan's a pretty devoted Knicks fan as well too. Who was the one that Sudeikis? Some of the Knicks fans were like, "Hey, isn't Sudeikis a Nets fan?" But again, it's beloved characters. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be happy for their happiness, Chad. But I mean, just in terms of the direct NBA fandom of it, like Spike Lee would be the one that like, okay, yeah, Spike Lee. I think he's earned an NBA title as a fan. I think that'd be fun. I think. It would be maybe a little confusing, like Spike, do they have to kind of set some rules out if it's like an elimination game? They're like, okay, Spike, you can't rush the stage right away. Like, yeah, maybe we get Spike in on the parade after like the third TV timeout, after we've handed out all the trophies, the team is celebrated, and then we've cut away like 2 timeouts, and now we're back on SportsCenter. Then maybe Spike Lee is like out on the stage, wandering around with people, and then it's fun. And he's having a great time. Like that's what I want to see, Chad. Because again, it's not anything against Spike Lee. Like there's legendary Knicks players as well too that gotta wander around on the celebration floor for a second there. Knicks, like, does Phil Jackson get to be like, hey, am I a part of this Knicks run? What am I responsible for here for building this team? It's like, Phil, welcome in. But Spike Lee, I want to see Spike Lee as part of an NBA title celebration, Chad. That's what I want to see from this Final Four for the NBA playoffs. A super fan like Spike with a team that does feel like, even with OKC being as dominant as it is, so it does still feel like the window for the Knicks is as good as it's definitely as good as it's ever been. His team back, and Shea and Chet and Jalen Williams, all those guys, like, you would assume that. I mean, Shea, yeah, he won the MVP, but we've seen this with MVPs. We know it's sort of that newness as well too. Like, it's not fatigue that he got the MVP over Jokic. It's more probably the 70 games that they won in the regular season. But there is still, of course, that early process of them winning the MVPs. Like, we just look at Giannis's numbers, where now he's 35 a game, and he's even better. This Shea, I guess his scoring number was pretty crazy as well too. So who knows? Better Shea obviously is. Those numbers could be crazy. But Chet and Jalen Williams and all the pieces around him in the picks and what they're able to turn that into, like, there's still room for them to improve. San Antonio's going to get better. The Lakers, they have Luka Doncic now. Austin Reeves is a piece. Maybe he becomes another player. Maybe he is still there, and now it's like, okay, well, we'll just see what this version of the LeBron core becomes, and then, LeBron's probably. I mean, LeBron's got three seasons. I'll start putting numbers on all this stuff here, but I mean, you can see. I mean, the writing's on the wall. We all know it. Like, I think I guess we don't want to start speaking too much stuff here, jinxing and all that. But there is not even title stuff. There is, of course, one more maybe family element that could potentially happen as well too. But outside of that, obviously it's just him hanging out, chat. LeBron's just still at the party is really what it is at this point. It's like, okay, he's clearly. Hey, what kind of party are we talking about, chat? We know when it comes to LeBron, he's hyped up some interesting types of parties. But it's like, okay, the man is partied as much as you can party here. Like, there's nothing left for LeBron to accomplish at this party. He's I guess, again, LeBron, it's not literally LeBron at a party. He's a happily married man, but he's gotten shots he's drank every type of shot. He's hit on every girl. He's queued up every type of song. Like, there's just really nothing left for LeBron to accomplish here, and yet it's like, oh, he's just hanging out because it's a good time, and he's LeBron James, and he's the life of the party. But when does LeBron want to stop being the life of the party, Chad? I guess is really the question. He's got the pod, so he can kind of ease out, and he's got the pod runway now, where he's got that going at the same time as the playing career. So when he walks off the stage of the NBA, he's still immediately still continuing. That's the thing. It's not like, oh, LeBron's starting a new thing. We get to see LeBron in this new way. Like, he'll be continuing a thing that he's at least had going for. And again, if he gets a couple more seasons, maybe we have like 5 or 6 years of Mind the Game, chat. 5 or 6 different Lakers coaches hosting the Mind the Game pod for LeBron James. I guess the question becomes, once he's not playing, does he need the pod anymore to scout the coaches? But I think he'll need it to just, not say that, he needs to be around. But again, it's what he's been for his entire, it's what his career is. And it's what his career is still going to be as well, too. I mean, he's a public figure. It's what a lot of pro players do as well, too. They're going to get into post-playing media type stuff. So, I mean, him having his own companies and his own brands and his own stuff is obviously not a bad thing to do in 2025, chat. But it's like, okay, well, the momentum is not stopping necessarily too much from one individual thing. It's like a couple of runways, basketball, pod, stop the basketball. We still got the pod. We got the movies and agencies and stuff going. Foley is now like, LeBron officially a part of Clutch Agency now in ambassador role or something like that. But, now he can just sort of elevate the rest of the stuff as well, too. But, the Knicks up by 2, chat. We're rambling about LeBron. Is LeBron going to be happy? Is LeBron a Knicks fan? He might be. Been a Knicks fan since day one if they win the title. I think we're going to get the Instagram story for sure. Or he either is a fan, or he bet on it, or he predicted it. I said in the preseason chat that it was going to be Timberwolves versus the Knicks. I knew that boy Ant. I knew that boy Brunson. I knew they were going to make the finals. That's going to be episode 9 of Mind the Game. Is LeBron's finals prediction was right. And it's like, wait a second, the pod wasn't even going at the start of the season. What happened? But if that's an episode title, chat, I could actually see that. That's like plus 120 to actually happen as an episode title. LeBron called the conference finals with Steve Nash. And Steve Nash like, brilliant job. You saw it all the way. But yeah, Turner is back, chat. He's traveling. He's double dribbling. He's trying. But he is back and healthy. Miles Turner, a little too healthy? Maybe he needs a little ankle tweak that's like, hey, just the rebounds is fine. I guess, again, Miles Turner's a good three-point shooter, so that's what you want from him. And you want his spacing as well, too, to maybe throw off Mitchell Robinson a little bit. Maybe it makes that dynamic a little bit more interesting, not necessarily him flying around for rebounds in the same way around the basket. But, I mean, he's bullying Turner a little bit there, Chad. It's definitely, obviously, a tough physical matchup for sure, but Nembhard, we saw them really go, of course, point Nembhard a lot in the last game. Halliburton been a little, not just inactive from the shot stuff, but Ben Shepherd in the corner for free, chat. 8-0 run by Indiana. They have the lead. 41 to 40. Oh, the steal to the steal to the steal, chat. It's just turning it over nesting doll style. What type of nesting doll, chat? But just constant turnovers back and forth. Maybe another one. Another one, chat. No, there we go. McBride to Bridges under the basket. The easy 2. Finally, they settled down. Once somebody was able to collect themselves and all that chaos, somebody was going to be open for an easy shot. But Turner's got the mismatch. Josh Hart under the basket. Oh, he misses the layup, chat. Maybe he thought he was going to get fouled. Josh Hart reached a little bit, but Turner couldn't take advantage of the opportunity. Toppin with the steal. Toppin's going to go coast to coast. Are the Knicks fans cheering for him? Did they forget that they're traded for him? Do the Knicks fans miss Obi Toppin? I think Obi Toppin is kind of a sneaky, beloved Pacers guy, but I don't know if his Knicks tenure was as beloved. A little Aaron Gordon-y, obviously. A little high lottery pick that maybe, high to mid lottery pick that didn't have the first stop that was as ideal as he'd want, but went to the second stop, found a different role with some star players around him, and was really able to contribute in that type of way. Halliburton fires a 3, chat. Not quite the second half yet, so Clank. What's he, 0 for 3 now? 0 for 4? Only his 4th shot of the game, though, so you don't mind him getting a little warm-up every now and then. You got to stay loose, chat. Bridges, the little fadeaway. Halliburton stays strong in the post. Bridges again for 3. Bridges taking a top of the key 3 almost. That's not going to go in. It's not from the corner. Bridges, what are we doing? So timeout. Who took the timeout there, Chad? Somebody took a timeout. Carlisle? Indiana? The Pacers? It doesn't matter. It's 44 to 43 as we get into the break here. And Connecticut just continues to keep the lead. Mayberry driving for is she still on the Sun, Chad? So yeah, I mean she's a veteran. She's around. They have a couple of young players as well too. We have to pull the roster back up here and double check everybody that we got. And I guess they still have a oh no, they don't have Alyssa Thomas, Chad. Didn't they trade her? I think maybe. Okay, I guess we have to, Chad. I guess we have to pull up the roster and see. It's only fair instead of sitting here and guessing. Who else we can look at? Let's see. A rebuild team, of course, after moving on from a lot of the pieces that got them to the WNBA Finals last year. Oh, I guess 0-2. Yeah, okay, yeah, it does say 0-2, so 2 to 3 games. Tina Charles, yeah, Brina Mayberry, Anissa Morrow, the rookie, chat, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If I can remember the draft. J.C. Sheldon, Olivia Nelson Odata, Tina Charles, Lindsay Allen as well too. So kind of a team stuck in the middle a little bit with some veterans and some next up type talent. So would not be surprising if game to game obviously they find themselves in competitive situations. Even one of those teams that you expect to be right there in the mix for the WNBA Finals this year, chat. But Siakam continuing to cook. I guess he hasn't necessarily taken a shot here in a second, chat. And I guess some of his free throws have helped as well too. A couple of trips to the free throw line. But that's just part of the overall aggressiveness. So 238, again, maybe you got some of your playmakers back in the game, all of your playmakers back in the game together. Halliburton a little bit more focused here, definitely attacking himself, Chad. The athletic attempt at the layup, but just not quite able to get it to go. Not a bad attempt though, even if it was, relying on a lot of his acrobatics there. He almost got it to go. Brunson, the pick and roll, long pick and roll pass side to side. Posting up Nemhard. The fadeaway for Brunson is pure, Chad. You can't stop Brunson on the fadeaway. It is what it is. 2 minutes left. Knicks up by 3. Get Siakam back involved. The man gave you 20. Well, okay, Halliburton's scoring now. Halliburton's ready to go. Halliburton just needs a second, Chad. He picks his spots. He lets his guys cook. It's the brilliance of Halliburton, right? As we could say that after he hit his first basket of the game. Hey, yo, Chad. Finally. I don't know if he's got a score in every half type streak going, but at least for now. It's at least 2 halves because he scored in the second half of game 1. And I'm pretty sure he scored in the first half of that game too. So definitely 3. And I think he probably scored in the first half of the second half anyways. Of what, game 6 versus Cleveland, Chad? Probably the first half as well too. So maybe 7 or 8 halves here in a row. I don't know what record-breaking territory would be for Halliburton, and not necessarily league record, but Pacer records. Reggie Miller, another record on the line. Or maybe that's not Reggie Miller. Maybe that is Paul George one, chat. Playoff halves scored. Maybe that is Paul George Pacers. Who knows? Roy Hibbert on the Pacers. But Brunson with 14 tonight, 2 for 4 from 3. Mitchell Robinson with just a standing ovation from the crowd. I mean, obviously, speaking of beloved players in their team chat, not a lot of players more beloved than Mitchell Robinson. Is Mitchell Robinson played too much to get his jersey retired? Is that the hot take? If Mitchell Robinson didn't play at all and he was a Nick Collison type, would that help? Hey, what do we mean by Nick Collison type? Would that help his case for getting his jersey retired? Because, him actually playing, he's actually impacting the games, chat. He actually helps them win. He actually makes stuff that shows up on the box, and that is on the box score. It is actually relevant statistical information and success of the team. There's Siakam, chat, with the 2-point, driving in, attacking the mismatched switches. the undersized team here. 5. Again, the Pacers are playing small as well too, with Siakam at the 5. Siakam, Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, and Toppin at the 4. The Knicks have Towns at the 5, but they have Anunoby, no Bridges, Josh Hart, McBride, and Brunson on the floor right now. So McBride, you maybe still get some of that three-point shooting. Maybe some of the defense, chat. That's why the Bridges thing is confusing. Because it's like, okay, Miles McBride is cooking. There is a version that, obviously, best version of Miles McBride right now versus the lower version of Miles McBride. Him and Bridges are the same. But still, it's like, is that the level that it is? Bridges' floor in these games, should it be high-level Miles McBride, essentially? Should there be a different type of floor with his defense and three-point spacing capabilities and spot-up shooting and what he could potentially provide off the wall as well, too, which he has a little bit more in this series. And the defense as well, too. And, the last series, those wins against the Celtics directly a lot related to those last-second defensive plays that he was making to end those games. So it's not like he hasn't had those moments either. But, again, it's not like the miss-a-beat feel to have McBride and Bridges on the court. It's like, okay, you can still get to all the same spots that you need to attack to if you're the Knicks. Siakam again, chat, trying that little fade away, but at the free throw line, this time it's not able to go. Solid defense for the Knicks. 1.5 seconds left. Halliburton, did he get the foul, chat? Did Halliburton get a foul? How many is that for Halliburton? It's his first foul of the game, so it's not trouble foul. It's not necessarily bigger picture. I guess, they wouldn't have to sit in for this half anyway, because there's a second and a half left. But there's not oh no, man, he just picked up his crazy third foul before the second half. And a lot of times, you're taking him out of the out of the first half to avoid that third foul. So it's like, well, you didn't have to take him out because of 1 point. You still got the third foul, but again, one foul really matters so much. As of right now, you need a foul in the first half, honestly. Josh Hart does make the free throw, so I guess it is a legit call. The ball doesn't lie, chat, so unless we're shooting free throws, chat, then it's usually a foul. If we miss it, it's just because we're not getting free throws. But otherwise, the ball does not lie. A trustworthy source. You can cite it in your articles. Who are we getting checking in now for the Pacers? A little offense, defense? Chat, they're trying to get a three-pointer? They're trying to go offense, defense, and they take Nesmith off the court? Nesmith's been the best three-point shooter in this entire series. So they go with the rebound lineup, I guess. Thomas Bryant, Siakam, and who else is the center here, Chad? I don't even know, but then you got Nembhard and Halliburton out there as well, too. So Josh Hart gets them both to go. 152 to 149, a second and a half. New York, could they call timeout? Maybe, but I don't think it would be worth it. The inbound to Halliburton. The shot is up, Chad! Not quite able to get it to go. Halliburton, he's a man of the buzzer beater. You have to keep an eye on it. You never know if you're about to witness something crazy with those types of looks, chat. But there we go, 52 to 49 at the half. New York clinging on to life. So maybe the fact that they're actually in this game still means that the Knicks have to keep trying, and maybe that'll benefit them in the second half. They won't have the moment of, okay, we've won this game, we're good to go, and then all of a sudden you're looking at like, oh no, we haven't won this game, and now we're going to be down 0-1 in the series, and then you start panicking, and then you lose the game. But seems like right now the Pacers are making a play, Chad. So, tough battle all the way through, very even both quarters, Chad. Basically the same result. Siakam, best player on the floor so far. Brunson, though, is 17, of course, is definitely going to be in that conversation. But Obi only 9 points. Bridges only 3 points. Josh Hart, only 2 points, chat. Only 2 points. But we are at halftime. Does look like the second half for this one might be a good game as well, too, chat. But a good second half in general, because we got the second half of this game, and we've got live reactions to Common and the 20th anniversary of the album released in 2005. By, like I said, Common. And they dropped a 20th anniversary edition as well, too. Some new tracks, some exciting stuff to go through. We'll get that pulled up, queued up in the background chat. Halftime, let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more basketball and more. You know, Scott McKnight and the Eastern Conference Finals continue on the other side. Is the mic going? Test 1, 2. There we go, chat. We are live. Second half is about to start in a second here. Halftime underway. But Chuck is wild in chat. He said the Pacers have spurt ability. Hey, yo, hey, yo. But he's also not wrong. So we'll see what happens here. Only down by 3 at halftime. But like we said as well, too, it is also the 20th anniversary of one of, I guess it is probably fair to say, one of the great albums, chat. Again, I know some people can get a little picky about how those types of terms can be used. Like, oh, do we throw around terms like great and legend and all time and stuff like that? Do we throw around those terms too much? But guess what, chat? I'm all good for overusing them. You know what's nice? Complimenting people, paying respects to awesome things. And I think it is fair to say that there is levels to all-time stuff because of course an album like this is an all-time great album. It is what it is. There's nothing against it. I mean, it's on any list that you're gonna make, however you want to narrow it down. I guess, not however you want to narrow it down, because if you're ranking 90s albums, this album is not necessarily going to be there, chat. But any sort of hip-hop legendary ranking, of course, is going to be there. Common is going to be a legendary figure in hip-hop because, and not, I guess, just because of this album as well, too. But this is that type of album, chat. I mean, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, you become a legendary guy because you have these types of albums, but you also, again, need this type of album to become a legendary guy. But this is the type of album that moves you into that next type of status where you just go, okay, I guess some albums can, like, of course, really showcase, of course, the ability of the artist and what they're capable of and the style of music, and you go, there's definite quality here, and we can see what the artist is, like I said, capable of from whatever sort of standpoint. The production's on point, the lyrics, any type of that stuff. But then there is the other type of project that is just going to be in the rotation all the time as well too. And I mean, we've had that discussion with some of the movies that you watch in here. I mean, I guess it's not us having that discussion, it's everybody, but that is the discussion of movies and how you rank this stuff. It's like, okay, is this the great quality movie, the great cinema, the masterpiece Oscar film? But is it the type of movie that I'm going to be rewatching all the time, always on in the background? When it's on cable, it's like I have to check out these couple of parts. And then, of course, the truly special stuff is the one that checks all of those boxes, Chad. You get a movie like, Goodfellas. That's like, oh yeah, it was instant classic in the moment. It lives on. It holds up all the quality standpoint. It has the cable run. It has the streaming run. There's just no era, no time, whatever. Like, it's just always good. Or there is, like a Rush Hour as well too, that you're just like, okay, Rush Hour might not have gotten nominated for an Oscar, but we probably gets watched a little bit more than 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, chat. And I think music is a little bit more subjective to that, where, like, I don't know if music necessarily has like the 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. I guess it does a little bit, because you do have some years where, like, Beck got the best album over Graduation, one of those years. But this is one of those albums. I think this is sort of like a, speaking of Common, like, this is kind of like a John Wick 2 album almost. And this album was really good first week sales and stuff. I mean, you go back and look at first week sales in like 90s and early 2000s, some of that stuff as well. It's just some of the market stuff was a little bit different. Not even for the mainstream stuff, but just, again, maybe the overall marketplace. Like, do we have a guy like Common now who is sort of a, like, is the B tier, not, is it as strong from a talent standpoint or whatever, but I don't know if it commercially does the same type of numbers. And it's all different as well too with the streamings and how it's all calculated. Not that the numbers necessarily matter, but again, this album does have that little bit, and John Wick is a little bit, maybe even of a movie, a little bit less than this album. Not quite, but it didn't get like an Oscar run or anything like that. It's just, it was that the Oscars just being dumb, of course. Oh, are we doing good on the Wi-Fi, chat? We're in the red.
The internet looks good over there. Okay, I guess we're just running slow right now, chat. But I think we're connected, so we're still doing good. But this album did, I believe, I think got nominated for the Grammy, and that's the thing about Common as well too. Again, not that the Grammys are like everything, but he did have multiple nominations outside of this. So I don't know if this was his first one or not. I don't think it was. I don't think this was the one that like now he is like a solidified. I mean, this again is probably lives on as maybe his most beloved project or his most mainstream replay project, whatever. But if we were going for his career for just the nomination aspect of it, his first one, I guess he never won any of the awards. But yeah, his first nomination would have been for B-Chat in the 2006 year. Also got nominated in Finding Forever. Got nominated for Universal Mind Control. And then I think, did he get I guess he got nominated this last time as well, too, for the Auditorium Part 1. But I don't know if he got nominated another time as well. So just those three artists with 3 nominations. Artists with 2 nominations. No, artists with 3. Artists with 4. Artists with 5. Okay, yeah, we're missing some in here, chat. We're missing some. Common, one of the all-time stats guys in the Grammys, I guess. Okay, which ones are we missing? Should we just click on Common and then it'll go purple, and then we should be able to see it a little bit easier. We have to get a cheat code, chat. Let's see if that helps. He didn't. Okay, so he didn't win in the 90s. So B was his first one. Then Finding Forever, Universal Mind Control. Okay, Nobody's Smiling in 2015. So the Marshall Mathers LP2, Iggy Azalea, the new classic, Nobody's Smiling, Because the Internet, Black Hollywood, and Oxymoron, chat. And the Marshalls, I mean, Eminem's probably going to win over this crew from a Grammy standpoint. Oxymoron, Because the Internet. I mean, Nobody's Smiling, the new classic. It's an interesting year, chat. I mean, 2016 makes up for a little bit. To Pimp a Butterfly, 2014. 2014, Forest Hills Drive, Compton. If you're reading this, it's too late. And then The Pink Print, chat, by Nicki Minaj, 2017. And then where else did Common get nominated as well, too? So the Auditorium Part 1 is the other one. If we got all of those nominations correct. And this album as well, too, I think, is going to live on in that type of way. And it is sort of follows, I mean, of course, that similar formula where he taps into working with a really high-level producer, and the album gets branded in that way. Because, of course, you know, you can have that great production. Anytime you're going to get linked up with a guy, I mean, that's just going to be part of the rollout if there is that type of hype. And not necessarily rollout, but, you know, that is just going to be part of the conversation around. It's like, oh, did you hear who he's working with? Did you hear with the production? Then, you know, you get an album like this where both of their names, of course, are associated with it as well, too. But also, you know, that same sort of just consistent sound and consistent quality from start to finish. And again, you know, you're getting Common over that Kanye production for the most part on this album. I think, what are the producers on this album, chat? We got Kanye in 05. And of course, Kanye Late Registration also released this year. I think just like in August this year, chat, of 05. I guess the blueprints are, you know, all of the albums, College Dropout at this point that is already done. But yeah, 05 Kanye. Jay Dilla. We've got James, I'm not going to say this last name right, chat. Poyser. But yeah, he's from The Roots. And then Kareem Riggins as well, too. So, I mean, just like, there's no way that the sound of this album is not going to be good. And Common is one of those interesting lyricists, chat, because in theory, I guess, you know, who should be good or who not, but just the sort of the way his pace and sort of the way that he spits. Again, he's not necessarily, I guess he's just not a traditional rapper or even lyricist in that type of way, because he's so patient with his flows, chat. He's almost a little Le'Veon Bell-ish, but again, Le'Veon Bell, I think Common's had a much more sustained run than Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell has never gotten into acting like Common has. I guess Le'Veon Bell has gotten into UFC, maybe MMA, some stuff. So two sport, sort of two arena athlete, two genre career guy. Common is also music and acting. For Le'Veon Bell, it's football and fighting. So I guess it's two sports. Does that count? But yeah, again, Le'Veon Bell at the peak of his powers, maybe because you could argue Le'Veon Bell was maybe the best running back in the league. Would you have ever argued, with all due respect to Common, like would you have ever argued Common as the best rapper in the game? But again, it doesn't really matter, chat. Like at the end of the day, it's just about providing it's just about what are you getting, of course, out of the projects that the artists are putting out. And Commons and those patient flows can work, of course, when you're linked up with the right production. And just, of course, chat, we know. Check the stats, like Kanye's soulful production, chat. Of course, especially this early peak of the powers. This still taps into the before we start getting him into that graduation phase, and then moving his sound even further once we start to get. I'm not going to get the order of the next albums right after that, but when you get the 808s and Heartbreaks and the what's the other one, chat, that is obvious. Is Heartless on 808s and Heartbreaks? See, the next trilogies, obviously that old school trilogy is the main Kanye one, but then you start getting into that next trilogy, and that's the one that I least go back to. Obviously, like Bound 2 and stuff are like great songs to go back to all the time. But what album is Bound 2 off of, chat? I should know. Oh, Yeezus! Am I crazy, or am I getting them mixed up? But yeah, but he takes a sound from Graduation to Yeezus to 808s and Heartbreaks, and then continues to push it forward. But you're getting, of course, still that old school Kanye, and there was something about his feature production versus the production that he actually had on his albums. Like, and again, he was executive producing a bunch of albums as well too, so it's not like this was also the other one outside of his albums that he executive produced. But and maybe of course he's like, obviously you're gonna put a different type of thought and whatever he's going for, maybe as his own artist in his own type of projects. But there was a ability to construct a vibe around the artist that, and just a vibe in his, there's a laid backness in some of his other beats that, not that he didn't have, because you're still getting, of course, the soulful production and stuff like College Dropout and Late Registration. All throughout his career, of course, that's what he's, those samples is the basis of his production. But the sound of some of that, the more chill stuff on those albums, like some of the stuff that he was like, it almost a little bit more R&B-ish as well too, with his vibes. Like this Common album, does it say R&B, chat, or does it just say all hip hop? I guess it just says chipmunk soul, conscious soul, hip hop soul, progressive rap, and yeah. But there is like the laid back factor of R&B vibes a little bit on this album. And they did release a 20th anniversary edition as well too, which we're gonna look at, which will be fun to go to, because I think there's a bunch of bonus tracks on there and stuff. So I don't know necessarily. I guess when we look at, we'll see if those are like tracks that we know, or what is going on with this project. But it also said here, Chad, I was reading about it a little bit, and it did say that some of the songs on, many of the beats created by West, and which Common rejected for the project, later appeared on West's studio album Late Registration. So I don't know if it shows off Diamonds with Jay-Z. Wait, did he pass on the Diamonds from Sierra Leone beat, chat? That's crazy. So the thing I was going to say that he doesn't really have, but I guess he does have, because if you look at Jay-Z, but like for this Kanye album, he didn't necessarily focus on like, we need to have like that aux chord type song where you're going to be playing it in the whip and like everybody, the club or whatever. Like he wasn't necessarily focused on giving Common a club hit. That's for sure. Like there is a consistent chill vibe throughout the album, but there is such a cozy atmosphere to an album like this. And that is what Common does create with his lyrics, chat, and with his style, is sort of that cozy feeling where you're not necessarily Common, chat, he's just a calming presence, I guess. But you're not necessarily, I think, like he is, of course, you're going to get some clever wordplay, some tricky bars, but he's not spitting at crazy speeds, or I think you're like having to like sit down and then like on the fifth listen, like, wait a second, what was that in Tundra, whatever that Common was spitting there? But it's just those easy flows and then a great ear for production and curating a great project like this that, you're going to constantly go back to, that again makes an easy listen like this that sometimes, again, it's definitely obviously more lyrical, but he's not focused on the necessarily the lyrical skill. The skill is just in the overall writing. It's not necessarily in the, the technical aspects of the cadence and things like that. Again, even though, Common is fine and all this type of stuff, but what does this say about those beats, chat? Rapper, producer, Kanye first offered to taste late registration. When he played singles for Diamond on Hot 97, Jay-Z was on hand for the debut. Although the track has yet to be unveiled for late reg, which will arrive on July 12th, West previously revealed that John Legend and John Mayer both make guest appearances. Rapper Common told Billboard last month that he expected to appear on the album before all was done and said and done, and previously reported West produced Kanye's upcoming album B. So this article is, way back then, chat. Way back then, 2005. But will be released in May 24th via his Good Music imprint in tandem with Geffen. A lot of tracks I wasn't using turned into beats for late reg, Common said. His album is sounding very, very good. I'm planning on being on it. He has some songs in mind, so we'll complete something. So was he gassing up his own album at the time? He's like, actually, my album is the A+ beats for the album. And I mean, again, there's some great beats on this album, and there is maybe because it's some of the your production, not my production with Kanye West. Like maybe there was a simplicity that he was going for, but some of those beats are just, again, the simplicity of it just makes it crazy. They're amazing productions, but late registration will follow up, blah, 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 and we'll have all those. So it basically just says, what is on there, that Common just rejected a bunch of those albums. But I mean, again, he's going to be working on probably cooking up a lot of this stuff beforehand. And it also said that Common denied the album title stood for Before Erica, chat. So, not the first rapper from the 2000s to be mentioning Erykah Badu and stuff. But, apparently he had a full other, description. I named it B to be who you are, man, and able to be in the moment and not try too hard. B is another way of just saying, just do it without trying too hard. Like I said, natural, and be just true to the core of who you are. In this album, I just wanted to be and not just go and exist as just an artist, not worried about the past. So the singles, The Corner, Go, and Testify. And of course, like we're saying, not necessarily just an album that is like aged like a fine wine, chat, but in the moment, like we're saying, got the nominations, the critical acclaim, the Pitchfork 8.6. It's not easy to make those guys happy over there, chat, but you put Common and Kanye on a project, and apparently that's the formula. Okay, Indiana 62, New York 59. Siakam still cooking, chat. Oh, the little jab step on Josh Hart from the baseline into the paint and one. Is Siakam going to get 35-40 tonight? What are we in for? But, widespread critical acclaim, blah, 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 blah. I want to know where it finished. Here's some of the list, chat. So this would all be in the moment where it ranked. I don't know if we have a highest finish in pause in the moment. So Billboard gave it 5th in 2005. Oh, we don't have a link to give us the full list, I guess. We've got 4th from Piccadilly Records, a British label, Pi Records. Albums of the year. So just in general, albums of the year, not necessarily hip hop albums of the year, whatever. I don't know if there was a genre specific lists in here, but Rolling Stone 21 in 2005. So Rolling Stone's always behind the times, chat. They never know how to rank these things. Top 50 in 2005. Again, against all albums. I'm not saying there's some some great options in here, chat. Oh, number 1, Late Reg. Number 2, the Rolling Stones. So bias, chat. You know, can you vote for the band that the magazine publication shares a name with? White Stripes, Fiona Apple, Bruce Springsteen, My Morning Jacket, Beck, Bright Eyes, Sufjan Stevens, 50 Cent, The Massacre in the top 10. Shout out the Rolling Stones, making up for some stuff. So their hip hop rankings this year is Kanye, Late Reg, and 50 Cent, The Massacre. Maybe that's what started the beef, chat. And 50 Cent's like, no, my album's actually better. But yeah, that's a nice top 2. I don't know what else is in the mix here. I don't remember. So B would be number 3. Thug Motivation 101, number 4 for the hip hop rankings. Stevie Wonder, A Time of Love. Throw him in the rankings, chat. Number 5. Paul Wall. Missy Elliott, The Cookbook, number 6. Of course, Keisha Cole, The Way It Is. Mariah Carey, the anticipation of take 2. Mariah Carey, take 3. Mariah Carey's album at 43. Hey, yo, chat, that's too low on the rankings. Oh yeah, the top 50 ends off with The Stars. So the hip hop albums they had on here were Late Reg, The Massacre, B, Thug Motivation, and The Cookbook. You know, I kind of think that's actually what the Grammy nom was as well too. I know we just had those rankings up, and I guess we could just go back through the links that we went through there, but we'll get it pulled back up separate here, chat, and see. I think that's what it would have been that year anyways, honestly, because Late Reg, like we did say, did 1, but what was the rest of the field? Yeah, The Massacre, The Cookbook, and Encore was the other nominee that year. What was the other? Wait, oh, Thug Motivation. Wait, Thug Motivation didn't get nominated? I thought it did. Jeezy? The disrespect, chat? They didn't nominate Jeezy? Did they nominate him at all? Artist with multiple nominations. I guess he wouldn't pop up on. I don't think he got multiple nominations. Oh, chat. I swear I thought that one was nominated. I would have bet the yes. That's crazy. I guess Missy Elliott and 50 Cent always competing against each other in the Grammys. But yeah, am I just not seeing it, chat? Do I need to go through and see if it said it was nominated on its own page? But the disrespect, chat. So I mean, Encore, you know, unfortunately, we're just not the Eminem fans to say, like, is Encore his best album or not? I mean, it's obviously not his best album, but is it better than Thug Motivation? I don't know, Chad. I don't know if was it in this, you know, with the way it was released in the year. Maybe it wasn't this window. Maybe it was like the 07 window, but still. So we got Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor, In My Mind, Game Theory, and King. All losing to Release Therapy in 2007 by Ludacris. So yeah, I guess outside of T.I., chat, I guess personally there's not another one that we would put over that album. But yeah, so shout out to Jeezy, I guess. The disrespect, chat, not getting nominated. I guess there's somebody's just going to be left off, but unfortunate. And Eminem not even making the top 50 for Rolling Stone. But yeah, Common in the top 20 almost. Right, one spot below the System of a Down. The Magic Numbers, King of Leon, Van Morrison. So John Legend at 16, Get Lifted. They put that over Common? Is John Legend's Get Lifted over Common? I mean, John Legend has some great parts on Common's album. I mean, I'm sure all these guys, you know, appearing on each other's projects for sure. They're all in the studio together cooking up stuff. But John Legend's Get Lifted over Common's B, chat. Let us know. DM us at Rem and Sam on Instagram. Oh, Thelonious Monk Quartet with Johnny Coltrane at 14. Okay, so there's some valid picks in here, chat. I mean, that at 14 is a little bit too low. The Rolling Stones better than Thelonious Monk Quartet and Johnny Coltrane? I don't know, chat. I don't know, but at least they had him above Van Morrison. But yeah, that was one of them. And then I guess Spin had it at 17. The Village Voice at 15. Pop Matters at 12. Nothing else that really seems like outside of the other Billboard. Oh, wait a second. All Music doesn't. I guess it didn't have a ranking after posting. So wait, what was the Spin? Let's see what Spin had here, chat, for 40 best albums of 2005. So Late Reg probably back up on top. Ooh, this is fun, chat. Is this the top 40? Okay, should we just start at the 40? No surprises, no spoilers. I guess we got some spoilers there. Diplo. So this is literally the magazine, chat. This is cool. Can we just print this out? A couple of staplers? Chat, did we just stumble on an idea? Just have random poorly printed copies of magazines? Kind of, what's this box of knockoff magazines that you have? It's like, oh yeah, we were just printing off these old Google copies. But speaking of Jeezy, chat, back in the mix. So yeah, that's unfortunate that he was left off there. But he was 37. Animal Farm? Animal Collective? Feels at 36. I don't know, chat. We've got a little bit of a break before the next hip-hop guy, so that's good. Maybe that means Slim Thug at 15. Common at 17. Oh, yeah, we already knew that, chat. Integrity has always been Common's Albatross. Assiduing his soul? Assiduing. What word is that? That's a magazine word, chat. If not his... Assiduing his soul, if not his pockets. But while he struggled with bohemianism and Badu, Kanye West proved Insight could sell if guised up nice. And so for his 6th album, Common asked West to reimagine him as 70s corner boy gone straight through steering away from platinum pixie dust. The producer provided crucial context for the MC's conflicts, bathed in throwback soul and lively drums. Common suddenly sounded like the seer he always hoped to be. So shout out initials JDC for that write-up on Common, I guess. But still some other projects on here. The Mars Valletta by the Francis Mute at 12? Oh, Sufjan Stevens back again, chat. LCD Sound System. Gorillaz, Demon Days, number 4. Gorillaz taking over the world, chat. MIA, number 2. Kanye West, Late Reg. I mean, again, it won the Grammys, so not totally shocking. I guess we're not necessarily doing a Late Reg re-listen, but I guess should we just start firing it up and playing it, chat? I don't know how long this 20th anniversary album is, but here, do we have the Spotify up and going? Oh, wait, we don't. We almost do. Let's see. Camera is live, chat. There we are. Okay, so I don't know how many extra, okay, chat, live reaction. I didn't want to spoil anything. Any features or any reveals? And I wanted to listen to this album a bunch today as well, too, like some of the hits that we have, or the ones that we really go back to. But and like the one I really want, the one I've had stuck in my head all day is They Say. I've just been wondering around. So I was like, I want to get to this song on the album. And it's like, oh yeah, it's the second to last song on the original version of the album. So a bit of a wait, chat, but at least in the anniversary album, it's in the middle, so the perception of it's not as bad. The Corner remix with Mos Def and Scarface, and I'm not necessarily the best with like unreleased what's going on. If it's not on Spotify, there's a good chance I don't know about it. I mean, we have some unreleased stuff, and I guess some major like non-streaming stuff that happened. I mean, I guess, you know, like the whole battle that just happened between Joey and Daylight and all those guys. Like, I know I haven't listened to all the songs, but I mean, shout out Joey. We've been listening to those songs, but you know, just because if it's like, okay, this album, these cuts were left off the album, this whatever, like some of the unreleased stuff we definitely get left behind on. So I don't know if like this Corner remix has already existed in some way, chat. Corner Last Poet reprise. So they're just really banking on the Corner in this 20th anniversary album, I guess. Go Jazzanova remix. So Common, Joy, Delaney, Jazzanova. And I guess maybe this one already existed as a single as well, too. The streams on this are kind of crazy. But same with Common's page. Maybe Common's page we just don't go. We haven't gone through the Common discography the way we should have, chat. But this will be the motivation after tonight to dig into the Common discography even more than we have before outside of this album. But Okay, the food chat, so cool. The movement, be intro instrumental. Uh, cool. Okay, the corner instrumental. So we're getting an instrumental version of the album for the 20th anniversary. That's kind of cool though, chat. I'll take it for sure. I'm a I'm an instrumental guy. I don't mind listening to some beats. And I was just having a conversation with a guy at work as well too, and he was like, he doesn't even listen to hip hop chat. He just listens to instrumentals, and I respect that hustle. Again, like I'd rather listen to an instrumental than like a lo-fi jazz beat. But I guess now maybe we actually need to make like an instrumental playlist and have all these. Because another hot take, chat, another controversial take. I like throwing full albums into playlists because guess what? Maybe I want to listen to all of these albums on shuffle or in a row at one time or whatever, and I just don't want to do. I want to do the work one time to get them all in one spot, and then just have it from there. But especially something like this as well too, like an instrumental album where and a little bit more specific. Go through, start getting this, the Pinata, some of the other ones, chat. But I mean, I could honestly just go that. I mean, it might work, chat. Go through the album and then we just have the instrumentals going in the background, just having a great time. I guess we're almost into the fourth quarter now. 70-70, McConnell on the pull-up. 72-70. Brunson here, chat. As we enter Brunson quarter, I guess. Fourth quarter time. I don't know. Again, I guess we said Common versus Le'Veon Bell, but if we had to have an NBA comparison, because again, five nominations for Common is honestly crazy. Like again, that's kind of historic territory. That was here. Let me go back and look at that list real quick, guys. With more, Jay-Z obviously with 11, Ye and Eminem with 8, Nas and Drake with 7, and then Common and The Roots with 5, and then Lupe Fiasco, Missy Elliott, and Kendrick Lamar all have 4. Obviously, Kendrick I think is 4 for 4, right? Or 3 for 4 because, Good Kid, Mad City lost to the Heist. But yeah, 3 wins on 4 nominations versus Common. Unfortunately hasn't been able to. He hasn't gotten the title yet. Chat. Was this the year for Common? Is this? I don't think this was a Common like gave up the belt type of year because, again, Doechii definitely made the run. Like she definitely outplayed a lot of the people this season and put up the stats, put up the numbers for sure to get the win. But and I get it's not like win a Grammy, make the Rap Hall of Fame, but just to kind of help figure out what the comparison would be. Like he does have the critical acclaim again at the peak of his powers. Like maybe the first week number on the isn't up in the top 10, but of course peak Common there was commercial viability, of course, to those projects. And yeah, maybe he needed a second, maybe a little. You gotta be careful with the Kyrie Irving comps, chat, but maybe a little Kyrie, a little Jaylen Brownish. Jaylen Brown did win a finals titles MVP. Knicks 3-pointer, chat. Now they are up 3. I don't know if we've hit the offensive back and forth stretch of the game, but McConnell takes to the rim. McConnell's taking on the Knicks by himself, chat. TJ McConnell versus everybody. TJ McConnell, I can do this all day. TJ McConnell, Steve Rogers before the Super Soldier Serum. Steve Rogers, pre-Captain America as a basketball player. That's the TJ McConnell comp, chat. But, Bridges misses the little pull-up jumper. So, yeah, chat, I better just start playing the album. Otherwise, we're just going to be here all night just rambling about how great Common was in this project. But it is true, chat. This really is this really is a streaming classic for an album. And again, obviously you think streaming for music, but streaming in the movie sense as well too, if we're doing that comparison. Like again, the critical acclaim it had, but the go back ability to this album really does fit it, the versatility of this album, where you can have this on, and again, we were saying, does it have the aux club bangers where like, are you walking into the place, with the whatever? I'm just like, okay, we know how to describe a club, but it doesn't have that type of song, but it does have a song. Again, you can drive to any song, hot take, but the vibes of this are like great sunny day, just happy, uplifting vibes. Common, of course, very positive messages most of the time, even if there's struggle or conflict or he's dealing with something in the message. Again, a lot of times Common is laying that message out there to bring it back around in positivity in that type of way sometimes. But versus some guys are like, oh yeah, this all just sucks, life's bad, whatever. But Common, at least he's trying to put a smile on your face a little bit, chat. Again, your cheerful production, that sunny drives, late night vibes, and now the instrumental album, it's got that chill, just study, because again, it doesn't have those overly aggressive production on it. Like, it really is, I mean, production-wise, obviously, obviously Madlib and Kanye are both great producers, and both sample, soulful bass. So there's going to be similarities in the sound, but the cohesive, laid-back sound, the B and Pinata are very similar in that way, and I guess Pinata is about a decade later than B, and Freddie Gibbs is obviously more of a a gangster rapper than a conscious rapper, but they are kind of, and his rhythms and his cadences are a little bit different as well too, but they both are not necessarily like J. Cole when it comes to some of the way they're processing their writing and stuff like that. But yeah, it does make the like we were saying, just the consistency here makes the replay value obviously just really crazy, chat. So B intro, one of the great intros as well too. Oh, is this gonna be a little back and forth with the mute, chat? It might have to be. Maybe Common's album sneak anniversary. Be nice. Who do we got for the distributor? I guess Good Music, chat. Oh, UMG. Oh no, UMG's in the middle. Is the lawsuit gonna distract them or make them more locked in? They're like, not anything, not even Common's album can be played over the airwaves on YouTube, chat. It's just what it is. But fourth quarter about to start. Okay, I guess perfect timing here. Clutch fourth quarter. Some good tunes, chat. Let's go. Let's go. Jalen Brunson with a chance to beat the buzzer. Hey, yo, not able to get it to go. Pacers. McConnell is just pushing the pace, chat. It is what it is. Okay, let's make sure I play it from the right spot here so that way it's on the speaker. Oh, wait a second. Car 85. Shout out Nas, but that's not what we're going for, chat. We're going for the B, and we want the 20th anniversary album as well, too. I think it's still, yeah, it's still all the same stream, chat. Is this it? Testify? Faithful? 11 million streams? People, be better. Step up. Spotify audience canceled. Nobody's listening to Common's album. What's happening, chat? But let's see here. Let's get the anniversary one up and ready. And I guess, the Most Def Scarface remix. That'll be fun as well, too. But, I mean, in terms of an intro as well, I mean, obviously Kanye at this point, as well, like we're saying, he has a couple of albums under his belt. So his ability to structure an album is definitely kind of fully formed a little bit. Again, he's working on Late Reg at this point as well, too. So it's not like he's had the release and the process and the critical acclaim of that album under his belt. But he does have, of course, work, like we're saying, on a bunch of projects at this point with his own album. And his own album already winning the Grammy. So it's like he has that critical acclaim of a project. But the build of course, this intro is great as well, too. Like, this is, you don't want to call it the most intro-y track of all time, chat. But, you have to, it's like, what is an intro track? Do you just start off with a hit song where sometimes it felt like the single being released was just the hit single, and then now I have an album, and then the hit single, like way back, the hit single or the title track or whatever is just that first song on the album? Or is it, Good Kid, Mad City, the first song on that album is a little bit more of a storytelling cut, setting up the album, and then you kind of get into the, Don't Kill My Vibes, a little bit more of the bangers, the stuff that's the replay value that's really living on throughout the track list. But the build and, again, the patience, chat, and waiting a second for you even get the drums to kick in, but then that extra, like, and just the focus on the bass line. Like, it really, again, just great intro for the track. Like, and you think about, again, like, speaking of, like, that's kind of why Wesley's Theory is so great as an intro as well, too. And twice in a row, or twice in this game anyways, the end of quarter shot has almost gone in. Very close attempt. So is that third time's a charm, chat, setting us up for even a more dramatic buzzer beater in the fourth quarter here? The Easter eggs and the seeds have been laid. But, you know, again, that's why Wesley's Theory is such a great intro, because it's obviously a great song, but it's such a great first song to start you off in the album. It's got a great build. There's a little bit of, you know, the song itself builds, but the literal volume, like, builds as you initially listen to the song, and just the way the sample sort of comes together and is really soulful, but then kind of obviously splits off into the more of the jazzy sound, and then you're off into the rest of the album. And just the way the jazzy vibes obviously carry that first half of the album with some of the hits, like we're saying, you know, you're stacking the more, not necessarily pop cuts on that album, but obviously the ones that became bigger songs in the front of that album. The interludes are, you know, crazy production. But again, this album as well too is great for that. Like, you know, Drake again with like Tuscan Leather. Like, Drake's intros are more just great songs. And I think even like Kanye, like I'm chat, like what is the, I should know, what is the, Heard Him Say is the first track off of Late Reg, right? So that's, again, comparing it to the same album that the other album that Kanye dropped in 2005. But what's the other, so he just has the Wake Up Mr. West skit, and then we go into Heard Him Say. And Heard Him Say is, I could argue it's my favorite song off the album. The production is obviously amazing. You know, I mean, is it the best Adam Levine has ever been on a song, chat? It's just, you know, it's such a great, uplifting, happy song for, you know, just great vibes for Kanye West. I mean, this is obviously, you know, a stacked album as well, too. It just really depends on the day what the best song is off this album. But you can make the case that this beat, anyway, there's just something about this beat that is just really great. But it's, again, just a great song. And it works as an intro, but it doesn't play as an intro the same way as B. Like, again, you can compare them as songs, but I think as the start of an album, like, B is definitely a starting song. Like, it makes much more sense as the starting song. I don't know if it goes the same way. I mean, it's still a great track throughout, but just perfect placement, chat, for the initial track as well too. The Corner. Okay, wait, I'm gonna mute for a second. And Go, once we get to Go, obviously we're going to hit a single there. We're hitting some of the more popular tracks. But even just the little subtle, like we're saying, there is a cohesiveness in the samples and in the sound of the album where it never feels like you're veering too far off in one way or the other. But sometimes you're gonna get a little bit more energy. You're gonna get a little bit more chill. But again, you know, it's still pretty like he's not. I think we could look up the samples here, I guess, for this album. Like, he's not necessarily dipping into the 90s and the 80s and some of the other types of R&B with the production here. Like, my guess is it's really mostly 70s, if there's any like 60s in here maybe. Oh, it's not gonna have the years for the songs, but yeah, Marvin Gaye, chat, DJ Rogers, that's got to be 70s. We're just guessing. Linda Lewis, yeah, her hit 73, 75. Sam Cooke, obviously legendary soul guy as well too, chat. So you know, definitely the era carrying over is gonna help. Here, let me see if I can look these up on a different site, chat, and see if we can get actual release years, just to be factually accurate, to fact check our own selves. Oh, here we go, chat. Go, definitely one of the more replayed ones. I don't know if we'll do like a top 3. I mean, we can definitely cook up a ranking. Again, it is just based on the day, kind of. What is the vibe? What is the mood? Which common B track are we bumping the most at the moment? But I guess for this song specifically, let me see if I can get to this one for the sample. We've got Yeah, this is the Linda Lewis one. So yeah, 72. DJ Rogers 75. Ahmad Jamal 74. I guess the what do we got? 74. Yeah, 75, 70. So yeah, mostly 70s, almost exclusively for this album. But it's great. It works, chat. Oh wait, I think I fat fingered. Okay, wait. Let's go back on go. Unless we just breezed through that way quicker than I thought. Either way, we got to go back and listen to some of the best tracks. Like this is I guess this album is so concise just in its normal version. What's the runtime on this just standard version of the album here? 42 minutes? Or is that with the 20 Oh no, yeah, the original version of the album. Perfect. 42 minutes. So, and that's with an 8-minute track at the end as well. So basically the first, 10 tracks of the album, you're of course clocking in around the sub 40-minute mark, is just going to make it insanely easy to listen to all the time. Turner with the and one, chat. On the dunk, Indiana takes the lead. It's just going to be a battle back and forth. Okay, so we're getting Phoenix, Seattle, the Storm versus the Mercury as the WNBA game for the second window. Okay, I'm down to watch the Storm, chat. I feel like we didn't really get to watch them enough last year. So, Jewel Lloyd now on the Aces. But still, obviously, some stud pieces. And I think they also had a high draft pick as well, too. I could be wrong. But this is where we start. This is where we get Kanye West actually as a feature as well, too. So like we're saying, the guys that were all kind of working in the room together, them and John Legend. And Legend's work on They Say as well, too, is, really great. Some of maybe the best feature on them. I guess it's not like a ton of feature. We're looking at basically the last poets from the corner, and then I guess John Mayer and Ye on this one, and then Ye and Legend on the They Say track as well too. So of those options, I think Legend's vocal performance is probably the best feature performance on the album. But is this the most streamed track here? Let me get the Spotify pullback for it myself. Well, I guess the Go remix is actually more streamed. Oh, wait, is it the same? So does the remix and the... Oh, maybe that's what it is, chat. So it's just counting the remix and the original version as the same streams, I guess. Even though different tracks. 2 seconds longer. Hey, yo, chat, just a little bit. Just a tip. Hey, yo. But I guess we'll fire that one back up in a second. The Poet's Last Corner reprise. So yeah, this Mos Def Scarface could be pretty crazy as well too. This is gonna add like a real verse to the album. Where's Mos Def on this album, chat? Where did we get our guy? Why didn't we get? Am I forgetting about another John Legend performance in this album as well too? Did he pop up somewhere and I'm just not thinking about it, uncredited? But I don't think so, chat. But all of these have been West production. When do we get to Dilla? Oh, Dilla is on Love Is, chat. Love Is, and then it's Your World Part 1 and the Part 2 track there at the end. So shout out, rest in peace to the Legend, chat. But yeah, this is just perfect, chat. I mean, you're driving around, you just listen, come, go, go, go. It's great, chat. I mean, it really calms the nerves for such high intensity NBA playoff action. This is about as intense as you can get. I mean, the finals are the next round, really the last stage, but we're right there, chat. So I guess this would probably have to be... Is the top 3... I think the top 3 on this album might be pretty easy for myself. I mean, we could probably check the stats, but in no particular order, but it's top 3, so it's how many orders do we actually have there? But the B intro, Faithful, and They Say are probably the 3 best, but Testify is a sleeper as well too. I feel like so when I was gonna re-listen to the album, I was like, let me start with Testify because I don't go back to this one enough. And then I was like, oh, wait a second, this song is kind of hitting. Let me save this because if some of these other songs, it's like, let me just re-experience this whole album again as well too. But this is a track we're always playing, chat. I mean, the the little background thing where it's like it sounds almost like a vocal sample, but I think it's just a pitched up instrument from the original sample. I don't know exactly what it is, but it could be a vocal sample. I forget, but that wah, 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 gets you every time, chat. Somehow, those types. I mean, those types of beats that are great as well too. I mean, you know, any type of beat. There's gonna be multiple types of beats that you gravitate toward, but those type of beats where they're bringing out the like what is this instrument? What is this sound? They're accentuating this thing that's just a unique thing, like that kind of weird twisting high pitched sound. I mean, again, the vocal chops and that high pitch is present throughout a lot of hip hop, but just in that way, it is unique, chat. And when you just, you know, you get that pitch up just right, you know, chat. Back in the day, 05, what do? But Common just smooth over all the beats, perfect. And letting the, you know, the chorus carry in this one as well too is really effective. I mean, Kanye's sort of song structure, or you know, Common. Did we say Common? Common's sort of strong song structure in this album is really solid as well too. You know, you're getting some hooks and you're getting some chorus breaks and just great ways to mix up, you know, again, some of the Common flows. Because it's, you know, one of the things that Common does, to his credit, is he does give you a lot of those, you know, OG, just the verse style songs. He's not necessarily doing the modern thing of like, I'm 2-minute track, 2.5-minute track. I guess we'd have to go back through the auditorium, but I feel like even still some of the tracks on that are, you know, the productions really gives it time to bake. He's really cooking on a lot of those songs. Like he's still, you know, 2 and 3 verses and really working on these beats. Hey, yo. But sometimes, you know, again, with some of the newer stuff, you don't see that carried out. And again, this is from 05 as well too, so different time. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best, if not, you know, again, this album is going to be for us the best in Kanye or Ayo chat. It's up there obviously for what he's been able to produce, but obviously the best in Common's discography, and this would make one of his songs, you know, one of the best in the discography. But I'm telling you right now, they say I'm going to be bumping it all week after this, so that's going to be my favorite Common song right now, just because with the way that this, I mean, you know how the cycle goes, chat. You guys know your own music sort of rotation habits, you know, so I know for myself, like, with the degree to that this song is stuck in my head, chat, hey, yo, like, I am going to have to replay this song quite a few times to finally, you know, get this, hey, yo, chat, but, you know, to finally appease this. So, 94-85, Indiana on a run here, chat. They said, go ahead and listen to your album. We got this. You're not watching anymore. We can finally make a run. We can finally put this game away. Uh-oh, New York once again in the fourth quarter where we trusted Brunson, where we thought in the big moments that, you know, at least in the last series, they had an advantage. This is where they have fallen apart. And again, the last time it was, the dramatic game of they had the lead and they had the game and they had the victory and they had the momentum and they gave it up. But this time, chat, in a different type of way, where close game, they have an opportunity to fight and battle and keep the game close and pull out the win. And, or, you know, again, do what Indiana's doing and turn on the foot pedal to the metal and pull away. But they let Indiana be the team that has the success here to start the fourth quarter. And either way, Indiana has been the better team at the end of these games so far. So we'll give, of course, New York the benefit of the doubt and some hope. But this is scary territory, chat. In the Brunson minutes. We thought these were the Brunson minutes. But not right now. It's not happening. Ooh, let me testify. Testify about Brunson, chat. Testify. Testify. The man, I guess, testify about Siakam? Do we need to do a little Halliburton stat check as well, too? See how if our man's hit a couple more shots. I mean, I'm assuming they checked Neesmith back in the game and then he started going berserk, and that's why they're winning this game. We all knew that they were going to win the Eastern Conference playoffs based on the amazing performances of Aaron Neesmith. That's for sure. But We knew it was based on the roll guys as well, too. Testing 1, 2. Are we connected, chat? The internet is all over the place tonight. There's really something's going on with the satellite, chat. Something is going on with the satellite. We're thankful. We've always got the... Oh, are we still connected, chat? Are we still connected? Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait a second. Let's pause the music just in case. It may be the Wi-Fi, not the music. But I think we are still cooking. Let's see here. IT timeout. Sorry, chat. It is what it is. Okay, wait a second. So, let's just take a quick break in general, chat, and just get the IT internet stuff cleaned up. It looks like we're still doing okay, but just in case, we've got the B-sides. We can't have any Wi-Fi problems for the B-sides of Common's B album. Hey, yo, chat, 20th anniversary. We'll be back. Okay, chat, we're back. Resume play on Common's album B. I think we timed it right there. Yeah, so Love Is, next track up. And we've got 9789
lead for the Pacers with about 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter here. So it looked like Mitchell Robinson's defense is like the last hope for Knicks fans, especially in this game. Anunoby for 3. Yeah, chat. He had a block on Halliburton in the last game in the offensive rebound. So it really is Mitchell Robinson. They love their man for a reason. Chat. Brunson for 3. Brunson for 3. Knicks only down 5. They've been keeping it in that range. It's like the Knicks fans forgetting about the fact for the rest of the game that, I guess, again, it's been a battle tonight. But maybe they did. Maybe the fact that they're at home too. The fact that they gave up the last game. It's like this is a NBA math is in their favor. They should win this one. NBA home again. The performance, the mindset math of it, I guess, is the right way to say it. The mental, just the fight that you should have down 1-0, chat. But we'll see if Halliburton's just if he's got the daggers, chat. If he's got the daggers, if he's got the ice in his veins. Mitchell Robinson, speaking up, takes him off the dribble. And Halliburton gets a little bit of a good look, but just misses. Just misses, chat. Is Common at the game? There is a chance that Common is at the game. Common might show up to the finals. Bridges goes to the basket and gets the layup. 94-97. The fourth quarter is going to be another classic New York. I guess we're rooting for New York tonight, but it's unbiased because they're down in the series. We're rooting for balance. So in the next game, we have to root for Indiana, but I'm okay with that, actually. You know what? I'm okay with this as well, too. This is our new thing. We want Spike Lee to celebrate the title, but we will be rooting for the Pacers every other game. So sorry, Spike Lee. I know that that's probably not what you want to be hearing, but just, you know, at least there's a little something there as well. But, yeah, the Indiana Pacers at home as well, too. Will be fun to be cheering for him in that first game back. So shout out Pacers fans. Well, I guess hopefully they're welcoming me aboard for Game 3. But I mean, can't I be like a Step fan anyways because of the Colts fandom? Is that kind of crazy, chat? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not trying to claim a second team by any means. I just, you know, want to be able to be a fan of the game without any harm. Miles Turner, a couple free throws. 4-point game. So this is where Alyssa Thomas ended up going, chat. Speaking of her former team, the Connecticut Sun, Alyssa Thomas is now on the Phoenix Mercury. Like I said, the Phoenix Mercury is the other game on the background right now against the Seattle Storm. That game is 17-19. Storm are the team on top. But speaking of, chat, the layup by the Sun, and now it's tied. So a couple of battles back and forth here as we wind this down. But 94-98. Josh Hart off the court right now. I don't know, a little foul check here on Josh Hart. Maybe the foul situation is good to look at anyways, just to see. Siakam has 3. He has the most for the Pacers right now. Josh Hart also has 3. McBride has 3 as well, too, in 25 minutes. Josh Hart, 3 in 23 minutes. Karl Anthony Towns, 3 in 25 minutes tonight. So, to be honest, 25 minutes with 6 minutes left. I don't know if the math is mathing, but is Towns only going to play like 30-some minutes tonight, chat? That doesn't seem right. So Bridges, we got Bridges at 39. Brunson at 33. You know, Brunson, Eastern Conference Finals, 40 minutes a game. I mean, we're in the point now where it's like, yeah, the minutes of the entire series, entire season do matter and probably are going to be impacting him. Also impacting everybody. He did have that little time with injury with that break. But it's like, okay, now Tibbs actually has the chance to play his guys 40 minutes a game. Because this is it. We're in the last couple of rounds. There's only a handful of basketball games left at maximum. I mean, what do we got here, Chad? I mean, they've already played 1 game in this series. So they maximum have 6 games, including this one, left in the series. So 5 games after this max, and then in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then 7 games in the NBA Finals max after that as well, too. So, I mean, we're talking in a normal NBA regular season, I guess maybe a month of basketball if they played 3 weeks. But either way, if you're looking at the last month of basketball and you're like, we're done, it'd be a lot easier, though, if it was Aaron Gordon style. 2 days off between every game. So here's the Mitchell Robinson struggle, chat, is the free throws. A pretty bad free throw miss there. I don't know if a playoff, like, maybe he needs a playoff like this to be extra important, where he's like, okay, yeah, my free throws do matter. You know, maybe he hasn't been able to feel the importance of bricking free throws in a big moment. But now Eastern Conference Finals with a chance to go up, or at least tie the series 1-0. and you can cut it to a 4-point game there. Still 5, still an important make. Absolutely. But maybe you get in the gym because his free throw form is actually pretty egregious. Like sometimes with the free throw guys, it's just like Dwight Howard, obviously, and he's one of the classic examples. But it seemed like Dwight Howard obviously was a lot of it, of course, just some of the mindset stuff with the free throw game because it seemed like his form as well too, even though, he was not a perimeter guy. Oh, Halliburton with the crazy 3-point attempt, not able to go at the shot clock buzzer, but almost. His form did seem kind of okay there for a lot of it. Like, I guess DeAndre Jordan had pretty brutal form as well too. Oh, Bridges gets the roll around, chat. 3-point game. What song are we even on? Shy City? Okay, chat. Who cares about Shy City? MSG! MSG is the place to be right now, chat. Are we going to fire up Jay-Z? We need a New York artist. Maybe not right now. Who's Biggie? We'll fire up some Biggie. Oh, Turner. Turner, a big 3-pointer, 6-point game. 4 minutes left. Here we go, chat. Indiana just needs a couple of those shots to stay ahead. Neesmith hounding Brunson. Neesmith fought off the switch. Halliburton was going to switch, but he stays on him. Brunson draws the foul. I feel like that was a great job of Brunson initiating the contact, but almost bringing Neesmith into his body that time. I mean, a lot of times, again, it's the offensive player is going to initiate into the defender and then draw the contact. Can we get a replay on that? Did he hook him and whoa, you fouled me. What's happening? But no replay, chat. They're just going to bury the highlight. They don't want us to see it. Foul baiting. Who's the ref, chat? Is it Mark Davis? Is it who's the guy I'm thinking of? Bill Kennedy. Is it Kennedy? Is it Davis? Is Scott Foster back? Maybe Scott Brooks. Oh no, Scott Brooks is a head coach. Who's calling these fouls? Brunson at the free throw line, chat, makes it a 4-point game. 31 for Brunson, 31 and 10. He's just going to be a stats menace in these last couple of series. He's going to be the guy that is... I mean, lock him in for the over, chat, on the points in every game because the Knicks, again, are going to rely on him as much as anybody. Halliburton, chat, icy cold. The 3-pointer, up 7. Right in Brunson's face. Unbelievable. Ayo, chat. Ayo. It doesn't matter. Brunson, too short. Ayo. Mitchell Robinson tried to dunk it from the free throw line. What happened to layups? Mitchell Robinson's not MJ. Halliburton to Nembhard. Slow it down. Neesmith, heat check. Neesmith not feeling the game 3 or game 1. Well, we're not even in game 3 yet, chat. Not feeling the game 1 vibes on that shot, but you love the aggressiveness. What are we getting, chat? The food? The live version? So this is not in the original track list, I don't think, either. Wait a second, chat. The live version. Oh, no, the live version is. Okay, I'm done, chat. I'm done. I guess it's just listed as live in general. Does that matter? It does a little bit. I don't know. I don't mind a live. Okay, chat. Sorry to the album 20th anniversary. I know it's your anniversary, but it's also the 4th quarter. So let's just flip back real quick. Oh, wait a second. I don't even have the score up. So wait, let me get back to the right tab. Here we go, chat. 108 to 100 in the last 3.5 minutes of the game. 7 points. Tibbs timeout. Our injury timeout? Oh, intentional foul on Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, chat. This is going to be brutal. Okay, wait a second. The ESPN's going to spoil it, so he goes 1 for 1 here. 100 points. They're at 99 right now, and the clock is winding down. So, yeah, Halliburton takes the intentional foul. They've got some fouls to give. Just not a lot, of course, on the guys. Neesmith does have 4, but Halliburton, that's only his second. Nembhard only has 2. Turner has 2. I mean, if you intentional foul, Jarris Walker could see some minutes just to get in there and get an intentional foul on Mitchell Robinson if they need to, I guess. But, oh, Mitch, they're going to need the clutchness. with these free throws, he has a chance to get a double-double as well, too. He's at 9 rebounds. So there you go. He makes a free throw. Wait, is it intentional foul? It's not just one free throw, right? That'd screw over the team getting intentional foul. So it's just one free throw, I guess, if it's Mitchell Robinson going to the line. But Nembhard passes on the kind of open three to kill a little bit of clock. But Siakam working the one-on-one matchup, is not able to get the mid-range to go there. It kind of settled for a tougher one-on-one shot. But, again, you got to maybe kill a few seconds here. Brunson, the sidestep three. Clutch, is he? Oh, he doesn't get it to go, chat. He doesn't get it to go. He sidestepped to his left, and I don't know if that threw him off a little bit. Siakam driving to the lane. 10-point lead for the Indiana Pacers with less than 3 minutes to go. Siakam has a chance to get 40. 40 in a conference finals game for Siakam. A moment, chat. A moment. Oh, you love to see it for a guy like Siakam. Potentially going up 2-1 on the series. I don't know if that's an intentional foul. It's not on Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, it's on Anunoby. So Siakam just getting tied up with his former teammate there. All while happening, all these plays, chat, set to the jazzy vibes of Common and what do we got? Real people. Hey, yo, chat. But all while Common just talks about life and whatever, chat. Do we go through the Genius? I've never actually gone through the Genius on the Common songs. How many Genius annotations are there? Let's go through the B intro real quick. Or what's the one where he says, I think it is Faithful, where he's like, is he spitting crazy, chat, on this one? Let me see if this is the, oh wait, do I have the right screen pulled up in the back? Yeah, we have the lyrics up in the background. Oh wait, I'm not even on the Genius, chat. I'm on Who's Sampled. Looking at 70s music for what happened on this. Okay. Genius. B intro. It's only an 8-point game, so we shouldn't tune out quite yet, chat. We got to pay attention a little bit. Siakam for the mid-range. He's got a chance to get 40. Oh! The shot spins out. Halliburton, the offensive rebound. Halliburton, chat, keeps it alive. More clock to kill. Oh, I can't get the caps lock right. Okay. Here we go, chat. Comment on the B intro. Let's see what we got. Let's see what Genius is cooking up on this. So, yeah, less than 2 minutes, 8-point game. Or, no, this wasn't even the one I wanted to look up, chat. This isn't even the one I wanted to look up. Let's go Faithful. And if I can't spell. Just a masterclass in not knowing how to type, chat. If you want to see a masterclass in anything. Brunson for 3! 5-point game, a minute 40. That's the type of clutch shot they needed. Oh, chat, the Pacers, if Siakam gets 40 here, this would be the time. This is the moment. This is the time they need it. Get it to Siakam. Let him close the game. I know Halliburton's been clutch, but let Siakam close the game. Turner in the corner for 3. The sidestep. Dagger. No, chat. The rebound goes to the Knicks. Okay, wait. Back to the game in the background. Sorry, we've got high-level basketball. Brunson, the clutch player of the year. They let Neesmith with some contact. Brunson, don't play for the foul. Play for the make. He got it to go. He got it to go. 107 to 110, chat. Timeout, 1 possession game. Brunson, the contact, chat. That's why Brunson is beloved even with the foul baiting sometimes because, yes, he does foul bait. And maybe he was even foul baiting there, but through the contact, he can still get the buckets. He can still get the shots. He's still an amazing player, of course, even without that as part of his game. So do we have time in the timeout to go through the common lyrics? It was rolling around in my mind, and it occurred. What if God was a her? Would I treat her the same? Would I still be running game? In what type of ways would I want her? Would I want her for her mind or her heavenly body? I mean, Common is really thinking some heavenly thoughts here in verse 1. What does this say? By asking what if God was a her, Common brings out conflict. In American history in the past, women were not given the same rights as men and were treated as inferiors. By suggesting God could be a woman, Common is showing he believes men and women are completely equal and is possible the most powerful being in history could be a woman. Very deep. I love it says that on hey yo pause, but I love it says that on the genius here. Very similar to Andre 3K on Speakerbox and Love Below. I don't know, Chad. We're probably way behind on not thinking. Obviously, they're both very conscious, lyrical hip hop guys, but that does make sense. Common is kind of in that Andre 3K lane, where Andre 3K, I think, maybe a little bit better with some of the wordplay. Obviously, I think he'll rip off an entendre at times where you're like, oh yeah, this has 4 or 5 different meanings here with what he's going for, but they both do have, a very patient style on a lot of it. I mean, I guess Andre in those early Outkast days was going fast and kind of crazy. And, Big Boy is, I think, a little bit more of a spitter just in terms of like is that a hot take, chat? Like a rapper? But again, like I think just because Andre 3K does dip into that like poetry bag so often. And obviously, like you think about his like iconic features as well too, is really when he can accentuate that part of his game. Oh, wait, chat, should we actually focus on what's happening here? Halliburton with, they actually need a bucket here. The shot clock's running down, and they are only up by 1 score. Siakam for 40, no! He doesn't get it to go. 40 points on the board, a clutch shot on the board from that spot on the left that he loves so much. He doesn't get it to go. Now Brunson has a chance. I mean, they'll definitely give him the foul now. They need 3 to tie. So Brunson, get to the lane and get it and 1. Lock it in. Halliburton on defense. Brunson. Josh Hart wide open underneath, chat. They get a layup with 14.7. They get a layup, so they're going to have to foul Nesmith. Nesmith, did they throw it out of bounds or did they get the foul? They got the foul on Brunson. Brunson may not have needed to foul there, chat. The inbound was kind of a bad pass, and it was to Nesmith. It looked like that inbound might have gone out of bounds anyways. So, yeah, the Storm did have the number 2 overall pick in the draft. Dominique Malonga, chat, youngest player in the league, apparently, I guess. So, I don't know why we need to say that stat, but we were just reading the graphic, and that was the stat that they put up there. So, I thought that they had that pick, but that goes all, I think, as a part of that trade that they got, because I think that was part of Kelsey Plum going to the Sparks, was the Sparks giving up that number 2 pick for Kelsey Plum. That's how the Storm ended up with her. It ended up with that prospect, I think. So, yeah, her and Agumake could be a fun combination with Diggins, of course, still in the backcourt. Is, still great pieces there for the Storm. Absolutely, chat. Basketball in Seattle, I mean, you love to see it. I can't believe we don't watch the Storm more, honestly. Just watching the uniforms, the Seattle environment, chat, I'm ready. I'm ready for Seattle back in the NBA rotation. Let's do it. Let's get expansion going. I'm ready. More teams, chat. I want to see it. I'm honest. I mean, it's not a hot take. I think the degenerate fans that me and Sam are of the league, of course, we would just be ready for all of the attached stuff that goes along with expansion. But, I'm ready for it, chat. Let's see it. Let's see I mean, we know what Seattle's going to be as a franchise, but let's see the unveiling in Vegas. Let's see the uniforms. Let's see the team names. Let's see the expansion draft take place. Let's see who's going to coach the team and all that stuff. Brunson fires a 3! Oh, a rush shot off the backboard. Chat, the offensive rebound's tipped around and Turner's able to control it. Brunson was definitely playing for the offensive rebound there, chat, but a bad shot by Brunson. If we're being honest, a bad shot by Brunson. Down 3, they needed a 3. You take it when you're open, but Nesmith was right in his space as well too. He got on the closeout there. It looked like Brunson maybe was going to get to an open spot a little bit, but Nesmith did get there on the closeout, so he didn't necessarily have space either on that shot. Yeah, chat, I don't know. Shout out to Brunson, of course. Clutch player of the year. He's got him to the Eastern Conference Finals. You can't be too upset about one shot, I guess, but that one was not the finest of his career. That's for sure. Definitely maybe a shot you'd expect Towns to take. If Towns took that shot, I think Knicks would be able to process this loss a lot more. I mean, the fact that Brunson did take that shot, it was like, okay, you're going to go down with the ship, with your best players, with the captain of the ship. It is what it is, chat. But if Towns took that shot, they're like, okay, oh no. Towns, he takes too many bad threes, it is what it is. All this stuff. So Thibadeau's like, did Brunson want me to get fired? Is that why he took that shot? They're down 2-0. Wait, Brunson doesn't want to play 40 minutes a game? What's happening here? In a live mutiny of Thibadeau and the Knicks? So the Pacers with the 5-point lead. Wait, are we in the instrumental version, chat? Oh, we missed the song that we've been waiting this whole time to hear. They say, chat. They say what's happening. They say what's happening. I think it is my favorite John Legend performance. Let's go. Let me go to the Spotify real quick. I guess I will have. Well, I guess I can't switch the tab. We kind of know who is gonna win the game at this point. But let me see. Actually, here, let's go. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. There we go. Let's go like this, chat. Yeah. Oh, much better. Comment. Oh no! What did we do, chat? What did we do? We messed it up. Can we get the tab back in the mix? Maybe not. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. There we go. We're back. Get it set off to the perfect spot. There we go. Oh, chat. Are we cooking now? I think we are. So, immediately are we gonna get rid of it? But what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, pull up the Spotify, and I want to see what else I have in at least my main playlist for John Legend. Because again, chat, this is an expansive playlist. This will cover a lot of ground. I don't think it's gonna have a lot of for as expansive as it is. I don't know if it's gonna have a lot of John Legend in it, but for his features, like any features on some decent albums and stuff, he's going to be making an appearance in this place. And Legend is gonna give us all of the albums as well too, named Legend. So we need to throw a John on this search. Hey yo, chat. John Legend. So what do we have in this playlist? Okay, so John Legend on They Say, John Legend on Glory from the Selma soundtrack, John Legend on Grammy Family, John Legend on God Did, John Legend on Maybach Curtains. I guess this is all John Legend. On Time, Metro Boomin, from the Heroes and Villains album, and Selfish, another Kanye West appearance with Slum Village, of course. So, God Did was a Grammy-nominated song, but Maybach Curtains is a pretty great song as well, too. So, John Legend on They Say or Maybach Curtains? I guess is the conversation. I guess that's the argument, chat, for our favorite John Legend performance. But I think because of some of the characters involved with this common project, I think maybe this is the one we go back to a little bit more. Though, you do get a pretty great Nas verse. I mean, Rick Ross is always nice for a feature. And Meek Mill's verse. I mean, this is just a great song. It's a triumphant, soulful performance on this song as well, too. And, just him on the hook. These my hands, I see our life has changed. I mean, great stuff, Chad. Great stuff. I mean, that's definitely what it is. Though, him on Heroes and Villains is pretty great as well, too. Though I feel like that's almost a little... Is that the intro track? Or is that an interlude? Am I crazy? I don't remember the order of the track list for this album. Yeah, that's the intro track. So, great production, obviously, throughout the whole album, including this intro. But it doesn't... I don't know if it's as focused of a song as some of these other ones. And he's not in any of the other tracks. Am I crazy? Do I not have him saved in this playlist for some reason? Yeah, I guess it's the only John Legend appearance on this track list on this album. So do we just throw this one in the queue next? Because this is the last song off the original album. But the next song is that Corner remix. So here we go, chat. And in the corner, Last Poet reprise after that. And then I guess we listen to the instrumental version or something else. But Indiana, chat. The Indiana Pacers go back home up 2-0. So, I mean, Minnesota at least has the excuse of they're going back to their home court, and maybe in the basketball math of it all, they can tie it up 2-0. You go back to OKC for Game 5 down 3-1, and you're not necessarily feeling thrilled about your opportunity there either. But you go, okay, us back at home, Anthony Edwards, all these guys, maybe we turn this around for 2 games, and all of a sudden the series is tied. I mean, New York, chat, and all of a sudden they have to go to Indiana down 2-1 on the road. Obviously, much different situation. And Madison Square Garden, I mean, chat, the first time in 25 years that they've seen a conference championship game and yet still no wins. So the first time in 25 years that they haven't They still haven't seen a win in the conference championship game as well. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, chat. Let's go back and look at the last, because they did obviously make the finals with Spreewell there, so they would have won the conference championship games in the finals that year. But the next year, I think they also played the Pacers and lost, and the Pacers went to the finals against the Lakers, and the Lakers started their Shaq Kobe three-peat. So yeah, and then they lost in the first round. The Knicks, yeah. Are we looking for the Knicks or Pacers? Yeah, we're looking for the Knicks. So lost in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2000. They lost 4-2. But the games that they won, so 2 games in Indiana, they did win in New York for both of those games. So the home court did, of course, really matter. And this would have been a 2-2, oh no, 1-3-1. Okay, yeah. So this was a 2-2, 1-1-1 type setup, because then Indiana. And then they lost Game 6 in New York by 13. Reggie Miller with 34 points. Still, chat, in 2000, in the league for 20 years or whatever. At this point, maybe like 15 years. A 34, 5 for 7 from the three-point line. Mark Jackson, 9 points. Jalen Rose, 11. So, yeah, Reggie Miller just carrying his team, chat. A little Latrell Sprewell, Reggie Miller battle. I mean, you always forget about the Latrell Sprewell run. Okay, chat, here we go. Am I going to have to mute and just listen to this corner remix real quick? Listen to this Mos Def verse. Let's see what we get. I'm assuming Mos Def starts, right? Yeah, he does. And I think, again, like Common and Mos Def are obviously playing in very similar arenas. I think Scarface is a fun sort of mix-up in here in this remix. But Mos Def as well, too. I think Mos Def maybe goes a little bit more for some of the rhyme scheme stuff than maybe, he's going for that a little bit more aggressively. Again, the same sort of conscious focus, I think. And maybe Mos Def a little bit more conscious as well, too. But, yeah, I mean, obviously playing in the same worlds would make sense that you were going to get, probably should have gotten him, like I said, on the original track list anyways. But also just Common, like Common being able to carry a team, a movie, an album all by himself. He doesn't need those features, chat. Like he does, of course, it benefit from the name value in the producer and then obviously the talent of the producer as well, too. But he doesn't need the features as well, too, to like, oh, yeah, we need Mos Def on here. We need Scarface to carry this because otherwise, Common's a great feature on any of the songs that he is featured on. But for his own album himself, proves his own repay value throughout the course of this track list as well. So this Phoenix-Seattle game, chat, a real battle, 35-34. Phoenix up by 1. The tough corner 3 from Phoenix. I think both these teams kind of on the outside looking in of the title conversation, but should definitely be in the playoff mix, I would assume. Again, I think Seattle, even with that number 2 pick via trade, is still projected to be kind of a competitive team. And then Phoenix getting Liz Thomas and some of those players. Sabali, didn't they get Sabali as well, too? Or what did I say? Did I say Alyssa Thomas? I meant Alyssa Thomas if I didn't. Alyssa Thomas is the player they acquired, who just gets the little hook shot there, right there to give them the lead, chat. 36-35. But yeah, New York, did they outscore Indiana in that fourth quarter? They must have, chat. Yeah. Oh no, Indiana got New York 33-28, outscored them in both quarters in the second half. So obviously, closing fourth quarters is going to be big for the Knicks. That's why, again, going to the road, you would assume that them having the advantage of the home court would help them in those closing moments as well, as much as we would rely on their tough players, or their star players in these tough moments. And Brunson as well, too. Like, we're not going to blame him for the one bad look. But he was getting good looks. He was getting clutch shots. It is a tricky situation, needing the 3 points there and not knowing if you're going to get the next possession in the same solid way. They also did go for the Josh Hart layup there at the end as well, too, instead of taking the tie 3, which I don't know if it's bad in the moment. But, now you're playing the foul game, and now it's, are we actually going to get this thing tied up? But Siakam with 39 points, chat. and the Pacers ultimately getting the win. You know, in the replays, you're going to be like, wait a second, did Siakam get a couple of those last-second shots to help secure the win? But the performance ultimately will age well as a playoff win, as the Pacers go up 2-0, as you would assume the Pacers would. I mean, at least at this point, win the series, right? So I guess Pacers Thunder in the finals, chat, not totally surprising once we got to the Eastern Conference Finals with the way these teams were playing. Probably, arguably, again, the two best teams playing in their respective conferences, so it makes sense. But now with both of them up 2-0 in their respective series, it's definitely looking like that is the most likely possibility. But for Siakam's playoff career, chat, again, looking at some of the per game numbers earlier, but in terms of the actual individual performances themselves, his highest scoring game already, 37. So he had 37 and a 36 against Milwaukee. So I forgot he had 2 crazy scoring performances in that series. Did he have other scoring performances that made the averages kind of balance out? I guess we were already on Siakam's page, so probably going to be the quickest way to look at that would just be to stay here, chat. Let's just see what he did. Okay, so 17, 13, 12, and 19. Yeah, didn't necessarily stay like the best scorer in the league for the rest of the series, but at least got 22 a game for the series. 54% from the field, 27% from 3. So tonight, at least, you get, you know, some decent 3-point shooting as well, too, if we're just saying the technicality of it all. And they did go 1-1 in those 2 games that he scored all those points against the Bucks. You know, again, they ultimately did win that series, but in those initial couple of games as well, too, I guess, you know, helped start him off. And I guess that first game, kind of a dramatic loss, so yeah, we'd have to go back and check the tapes and see how the scoring of that's going to play out. But that 37-point win, game 2, and again, that's the first round as well, too. So while this ultimately does turn into an Eastern Conference Finals run, they get swept by Boston. And again, he has so many. It's the second game of the playoffs. It's their first win of the playoffs. He has so many games after that. So if we just go, I guess, after that run here, those 2 37-point games, still 20 a game for the playoffs at 52%. So still, yeah, pretty good overall for the playoffs. Can't be necessarily mad about that. But it is a team that does rely a little bit on the collective as well, too. There is a energy, effort, whoever sort of has the hot hand sort of mentality for this team. But if you are thinking about them now, okay, they're going to be potentially in the finals here against OKC. OKC is obviously an historic level team. If you're going to be competing against any of these historic teams in any of these just competitive teams in the finals, you're probably going to need that second superstar. And Siakam, of course, fits that bill. Like we're saying, you know, Matherin can have those big scoring performances. Nesmith can pop out and have a big scoring performance if they need him to, I guess, for the one game, and I guess they got it. So, you know, with whatever happens for the rest of the playoff series, it's like, okay, we checked that box off. We got the Nesmith game, and we won the game. But, I mean, yeah, those 2 high-end scoring performances, like, okay, now we've got Siakam, like, playing as, like, that all-NBA level player in the playoffs anyways, and giving us those really high, you know, even consistently, even, you know, more like in a 25-point a game type of range would be fun. So, I mean, you see it start there in that, again, against Milwaukee earlier in the playoffs, but has kind of leveled back out. Then, yeah, 17 in the last game, only 43% of the field. Not the most efficient playoffs that he's had today. I know we don't want to just start filtering out all of his good games in his playoff runs and saying, well, he didn't play well. I mean, he's still managed to, I guess, getting to the 50% from the field mark is still pretty decent. 16 points a game. You know, they're winning a ton of games. They've only lost 1 game, chat, since they've only lost 2 games this entire playoff run. So, and I mean, they're up 2-0 against the Knicks right now. So, I mean, we're looking at 2 potential win-loss, historic win-loss playoff runs anyways, from the Pacers and the Thunder. And the Thunder obviously are attaching that to a historic regular season run as well, too. So we're back on the... Oh, this is the Jazz Nova remix, chat. Here we go for go. Nice. Wait, do we still have... Which tab do we even have up in the background? I'm not even sure. Okay, yeah, we still got the stats up in the background. But yeah, defining game for Pascal Siakam. And I guess in that 37-point game as well, too. Let me look. So I guess this 28-point game as well, they lost this game. So he's -9. Them losing is not going to help the legacy part of it. That 37-point performance, he was +6 in a 17-point win. So tonight in a 5-point win, he was +15 and had more points and a little bit more efficient. So yeah, Chad, he just, at least in the scoring aspect of it, checked a little bit more boxes. He did have 11 rebounds, 6 assists in this game. So 33 on the game score. That's got to be the highest game score, Chad, because I don't know if he had a game in the Toronto run that replicated that. Yeah, 33.6 is his highest on the game score. So we'll see tomorrow, I guess, if this game overall passes that because of what he was able to accomplish on the rest of the stat line with this game here. But again, just a little more impactful performance in a closer game, in a bigger spot in the Eastern Conference Finals. So if we look back at what he accomplished, I guess, in the finals with the Raptors and in the Eastern Conference Finals, because they did play Milwaukee against a team that he's had success against. And in a 2 overtime game, 25 points was a big score for him in game 3, and when they started to turn it around in that series, and then after that, won that game in the next 3, like we were saying earlier. But 7, 14, and 18. And then the game 1 was that incredible game for him in the finals against Golden State. Games 2 through 5, not outstanding, chat, but then game 6 showed back up as well, too, 26 points. Obviously, Golden State, a much different team at that standpoint, but yeah, the finals, I mean, his numbers for that series weren't stellar in general, but 15 points per game, 39% from the field in the 4 games that we just mentioned, games 2 through 5. So, yeah, a defining game for Siakam. You love for him to have this moment and, again, get in this territory because, again, he already does have a title under his belt. He has playoff accomplishments. So now he can have these, like, history book impactful remember moments for Siakam, like an actual playoff moment that will be talked about for people remembering this run and for getting this team to the finals, and now multiple teams to the finals. Bob Dandridge is one of those guys. Jet Dowie, I feel like we mention a lot because he's one of the few, names in NBA history. How many names in NBA history do you know that you could just constantly keep bringing up? But Bob Dandridge is one of those. It's like, hey, the man can be on a couple of teams that win the title all the way around. I guess Robert Horry as well too. Obviously, is another sort of standout guy for that. Siakam, Horry. It's obviously a different style with you maybe expecting Siakam to be a little bit more responsible for some more of the offense. But, I guess we didn't expect to do legacy rankings for Siakam, chat, but that's what happens in the playoffs. Like we're saying, you get these things that happen. I mean, we were seeing it with Aaron Gordon a little bit with the Nuggets. Again, another guy that was impactful to a title run already in his career, but it's like, oh, this is happening multiple times. Like there's a real thing happening here, and he's elevating even still and getting better in his scoring performances and three-point shooting and stuff, and just becoming more reliable in his defense as well too, is just continuing to be a super important thing for the Nuggets. So Siakam is kind of in that mix as well too, where it's like now we have to, I don't know if we're saying like, keep him on the watch list for the NBA 100 team on the anniversary, but, or like even, I don't know, if it's Hall of Fame watches. What's Siakam's Hall of Fame percentage going into this game? Because it's not going to be updated yet. So I don't know. Will this game move the needle, chat? I feel like he might get a percent, like a 0.1% boost after this game. He's at 2.1 right now, Hall of Fame probability. So for as crazy as the Hall of Fame can be sometimes, it does still feel like he has an outside shot going in. So am I doing the math right, chat? He's not quite Iguodala level. DeAndre Jordan, way above Pascal Siakam? Doesn't seem right. So Siakam actually one spot on the Hall of Fame percentage below Jalen Brunson. And both of these guys, Brunson and Siakam, below Bradley Beal. I mean, Brunson might be a Hall of Famer right now. Jaylen Brown below Bradley Beal on the Hall of Fame probability. Jaylen Brown a Finals MVP. Dan Marley retired. Baron Davis higher at this point than Jalen Brunson and Pascal Siakam, chat. Fat Lever way up there in the legacy rankings. Yeah, we mentioned DeAndre Jordan, Steve Kerr, Sidney Wicks, another one of those guys. Jamal Wilkes is in the Hall of Fame. I think he might have made some All-NBAs, but won a title in the Warriors, won a title in the Lakers. Obviously, the Lakers teams were pretty stacked. Mookie Blaylock, Devin Booker, 204 on the Hall of Fame percentage. Devin Booker is not going to make the Hall of Fame, chat. He's got a 6% chance to make the Hall of Fame. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. I guess, maybe it's not shocking looking at the resume. But a guy constantly scoring 26, 27 points a game this much, and you would assume that, he's still 24 a game this year. You would assume he's still going to be in the 20s the next couple of years, and it's like, decade plus. I mean, he's already 10 years now at, 9 years now at 23, 24 a game. Yeah, 26 a game in 9 years. 46% from the field, 35% from 3. 26 and 5, almost 26 and 6 in making a finals. 2 All-NBAs. So I think 5 All-NBAs can kind of be the cutoff for All-NBA if you're just looking at some of the regular season success. But again, he does have playoff success as well too, even if it is just not. But DeAndre Jordan, it was like, DeAndre Jordan's the third best guy in a Clippers team that never got out of the second round. Like Siakam again has won a finals as at least a piece, and now proven to be an All-NBA guy in his own right. Tom Chambers. So Devin Booker, Isaiah Thomas, Sabonis. I mean, yeah, it's not a fantasy draft situation, obviously. Derrick Rose, a league MVP, 10% chance to make the Hall of Fame, 185. Yeah, chat. I mean, what do you do? Michael Ray Richardson, 12% chance, 178. How many All-NBAs did Michael Ray Richardson make? 0? He didn't make any All-NBAs, chat. Yeah, what's Michael Ray Richardson doing at 185? Hey, yo, shout out. Michael Ray Richardson is just like a random name that, like, yeah, I'm pro Michael Ray Richardson for no reason. I'll defend Michael Ray Richardson as a player, but I don't know if has he had a better career than Pascal Siakam? 4th pick in the 78 draft, chat. It is what it is. But a 15 and 10 guy. So I guess the scoring wasn't the main thing for him. There's some playmaking stuff going on as well too. 14 and 7 and 2.5 steals a game for his career. So he had Defensive Player of the Year nods as well too. A couple of first team all defenses in there as well. Speaking of the Knicks, chat. Knicks legend in the 80s, early 80s, Michael Ray Richardson, I guess. But yeah, he would have been their 4th overall pick as well too. But that's a little aggressive, I think, for him. Bobby Wagner, 118. This guy's got to be an older player, chat. Oh, he is in the Hall of Fame. So Tatum is in the Hall of Fame. Lock it in, I guess, if Bobby Wagner is in the Hall of Fame. I guess the starred players are in the Hall of Fame. Larry Faust. I guess maybe there's something going on, chat, with Larry Faust that we don't know about. So I know we've looked at, not our first time scanning the Hall of Fame, chat, to figure out who the lowest ranked. I guess, Bill Walton, chat, shout out. Of course, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Bill Walton? Below Pascal Siakam? Again, this still doesn't really make any sense. I get the totality of the career, but yeah, look what Bill Walton accomplished even in like 5 healthy seasons or whatever. How many actual seasons did Bill Walton play? So, once again, backwards, chat. His first couple of years, 12 points a game his rookie year on the Blazers. So, Bill Walton adjusting to the league, chat, out of UCLA right away, but then 16, 18, 18 and 14 in the blocks and the playmaking stuff that he was doing and just carrying the team over on, the level he could get to in the playoffs. 18, 15, and 5 and 3.5 blocks a game in the 76-77 playoff run, winning the finals MVP, of course. That's like the one season he was actually healthy. So basically Bob Sanders, chat, and Bill Walton, 2 of the best, just when they're healthy, players of all time. But yeah, and then of course, the Clippers run and then Boston after that. So really, I mean, underrated the fact that Bill Walton just spent 4 seasons on the Clippers and just barely played. And, I guess again, like, what kind of role did he need at that point in his career? But still, it's not like, I mean, he showed what he could do on the Celtics. So it's not like there wasn't a place for him, even if it's not the Clippers. Like, who's just like a middling team, chat? So what was the move? I don't mean to turn this into Bill Walton corner, but why not, chat? Bill Walton, RIP the legend. Always good to go back and remember the career of one of the greats. So drafted by the Blazers in 74 and then 79, signed as a free agent with the Clippers. The Portland Trailblazers received Kevin Knuppert, Kermit Washington, and a 1980 first-round pick as a compensation. So they're just, I guess, early sign-and-trade rules. I don't know what it was back then. But they got a first-round pick as compensation. Was this like an end of the draft? Mike Minsky, the G-Man, the 7th pick. They got the 7th pick in the draft. Wait, did they trade this pick? What happened? because it ended up on the Nets. So sent to the Blazers as a future pick with the as compensation. Then traded by the Blazers with Maurice Lucas and a 1981 first round pick to the New Jersey Nets for Calvin Nat. So they traded in Maurice Lucas for Calvin Nat. What was going on with Calvin Nat? Calvin Nat, former number 8 overall pick, the Pitbull. Calvin Leon, the Pitbull Nat. Made all rookie in 1970. Oh, okay, so 19 points a game. They traded for him in the rookie season. Oh, New Jersey, chat. They were playing chess, not checkers. Yeah, chess would be the right sport there. Traded him after 53 games. Ruth, I guess. Yeah. That rookie season, 19 points a game. And he did play a little bit better in Portland after the trade, so it's not like it was a bad trade. 13 a game after that, 17, 20, 16. 16. Then they traded it to Denver, and he immediately scored 23 a game, made a MVP push. And you're like, probably like, what are we doing? Why didn't we? We're Portland. We just have bad luck with all these guys. But maybe the trade. I mean, chat, we could just go down a trade rabbit hole all day, and just this trade turned into that trade, turned into that trade. Is this early Sam Presti? Somehow Sam Presti turned Bill Walton in 1979 to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, starting off with Calvin Nat. But traded by the Bucks as a future pick. Oh, again, sent by the Bucks as a future pick for the Pacers. Oh, wait. So these are trades beforehand, chat. Sent as a future pick as compensation to the Pacers for Alex English signing somewhere, or whatever. Traded by the Bucks as a future person with John Ganelli for Harvey Catchings. So, chat, they were just, I don't think they really just didn't have it clued in, obviously, on what first round pick compensation was, I think, back in the day. Is, hot take, really what was going on. High C, Harvey Catching High C. Wait, did we just play the whole album? We don't have anything left on the instrumental? Oh, no, here we go. Just a really long outro. I was like, too much silence, chat, between the two TVs and the album. Somehow we noticed that something was going quiet, but yeah, we still. Oh, the movement, chat. We've got the bonus tracks here. Do we get production credits on the movement? Oh, the Sadilla track. Chat. We don't even care. Take us down, IT the bots. Come after us. We'll do anything to play Dilla live on the air. We say that as we mute the mic, but hey, yo, chat. pick the Blazers anyways. But are we going, chat, now? I muted after that track. I think we were only muted there for a couple minutes. But anyways, we were rambling about trade stuff with Bill Walton and Arvydas Sabonis. But it was all on screen if you guys were watching. And yeah, Arvydas Sabonis somehow ended up back on the Blazers after the Blazers traded the pick that became Arvydas Sabonis in the Bill Walton deal. All this weird stuff, chat. This weird rap. Way out in the future. Computer lock, chat? Okay, there we are. We're back. We're falling apart as we end the live stream here. Hot start, or hot end anyways. Just a nice 2-minute, 3-minute mute at the end of the live stream. Hey, yo, chat. We almost made it. A decent way tonight with okay, no issues. But, yeah, wait. Is there anything else to mention on this? Do we get out of this rabbit hole now, chat? Ayo. Bill Walton. What was there anything else to look here? Oh, the Blazers. What were we looking at? Not the Blazers. The Blazers aren't. Oh, Hall of Fame. Oh, Siakam, chat. Siakam has already passed Bill Walton in the legacy ranks with a 37-point game tonight. So yeah, there we go. Okay, a nice bow to wrap it all up. Terry Dishingler and Mel Hitchens and Detlef Schrempf are next on the legacy rankings for Siakam in Game 3. But yeah, chat. There we go. Common B. 20 years later, the Pacers 20 years later after taking down the Knicks in the conference finals, they're doing it again, chat. They're doing it again. So, yeah, I guess we'll be back for Game 3. The Western Conference Finals still plugging along as well, too. WNBA, the season's going, so it'll be on in the background, chat. There's more albums, more movies, more stuff to react to all the time. So don't forget to subscribe to the REMINGTOM Pod, chat. This is the place to be. As long as we're unmuted, we're having a good time hanging out on the live stream. It's fun. Yeah, of course, you don't have to subscribe to join us. Just join us, hang out. It's a good time. The streams are, of course, here on the YouTube page. They do go up afterwards on the podcast platforms, and they are available on that format if you guys want them over there. And the messages are open at REMINGTOM on Instagram. If you guys want to send us a DM and communicate with us that way, too, we always like it, chat. We love to hear from you guys. We love the messages. We love the communications. So, don't be afraid. Feel free. We were going to say, don't feel free, chat. Ayo, don't be afraid and feel free to reach out. Both of them. If you can feel both things at the same time. Ayo, we would, the messaging, DMing the REMINGTOM pod will give you that sensation. Ayo, chat. Ayo, so on that note, we will be back later. More playoffs, chat. The NBA continues. We'll see if they're... I guess we have been getting drama from this one, but it's looking like Pacers Thunder in the NBA Finals. So as Game 3, chat, can we tease this out? The NBA is not hiring us to do teases. Let's see, I teased. They give us a script. Let's see here. As Game 3 heads, chat, Game 3 head. What are we talking about? IT. This is not the right script. Okay, chat, that's it. The playoffs continue next on the REMINGTOM Pod. Next time, we'll be back.